or the backstop netting. Leisure players are prohibited here at Bethpage Ballpark. We also like to remind you that any spectator going onto the field or any member will be ejected and subject to arrest. Along with us, we're also happy to have fans keep any batted or thrown ball that goes into the stands tonight. And in the spirit of safety, the Long Island Ducks would like to remind you to stay alert at all times because thrown or batted objects could be very, very dangerous. In consideration of the health and comfort of others, smoking is prohibited in all Bethpage Ballpark. If you need this road, please head toward the suite lobby double doors located on the main concourse right behind her plate. Their gate attendant will assist you. The Long Island Ducks thank you for not smoking here at Bethpage Ballpark, making our ballpark smoke-free. David Harrison. The Long Island Ducks and Suffolk County Stop PWI program. Hope you enjoy tonight's game. We'd like to remind you to have a plan to get home safely. If you've been drinking, don't drive. By all means, get a ride. And thanks to Lisa, our problems with the 2014 ground crew, keeping the field here at Bethpage Ballpark the best league. As Lisa Parks, serving over 70 years.
Got it.
Fans, if you follow the Long Island Ducks on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, make sure to take part in our social media contest that's going on here tonight at the ballpark. Send us a picture of you during tonight's ball game using the hashtag #FlyPhoto, and you could be going home as a winner. We select your photo at the end of the minute, so don't wait. Please get snapping right now. Fans, don't forget about our 50-50 raffle here tonight at Bethpage Ballpark. And you can purchase your 50-50 raffle tickets at the Water Shop, main concourse right behind the plate, but also leaving you the cozy comfort of your ballpark seat. Just look for our 50-50 vendor who is roaming the stands and concourse tonight. It's only $1 ticket or $5 for 6 tickets. All the proceeds go to the Fire Jack Foundation. That's the charitable arm of the Long Island Ducks. We have in the at the end of the 7th inning, so make sure you buy your 50-50 raffle tickets. Do it now before the game at the Waterwood Shop, main concourse behind home plate, or by finding the 50-50 vendor who's selling them in the stands and concourse here at Bethpage Ballpark.
We are live here at Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip, New York. It is time once again for Long Island Ducks baseball. Tonight it is game number 1 of a 3-game series, the final 3-game series of the 2014 season for the Ducks as they take on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Pollack, joined here in the broadcast booth tonight by David Weiss. Thanks so much for joining us on your Friday evening, whether you're listening to us on your radio dial at 103.9 FM LI News Radio, or online at linewsradio.com, or online as well with live streaming video and audio coming to you on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/and liducks.com. Well, David, tough series for the Ducks here. They start this series knowing that they will not be able to clinch a postseason berth. They have already been eliminated from playoff contention this year. For the first time since 2010, the Ducks will not be able to play for the Atlantic League title.
They were eliminated just a couple of days ago, this past Wednesday. It's a complicated playoff scenario. The Ducks were certainly hoping to snag a wild card but it just wasn't to be. The Ducks trying to do something that no other Atlantic League team has ever done, win 3 consecutive titles. I would use that particular term that begins with 3 and ends with P, but I don't want Pat Riley to get a check from me with the royalties involved. Nonetheless, it has been a streaky season for the Ducks. All you want are meaningful games as the first half comes to a close, and in September as well. The Ducks certainly did that. But you talk about streaky, 13 consecutive losses earlier in the second half. The Ducks at one point were 2 up and 13 down. Then later on, they win 10 of 11, putting themselves within a half game of the summer 29 and 26, but it has fallen apart since then. Nonetheless, so many individual and team highlights during a night that won't include the postseason.
Yeah, it's been very tough for the Ducks. They had gone on 2 big winning streaks, one of 7 games, one of 8 games, right before each of those long losing streaks, and that's been tough to fathom as to how the team went from playing some of their best baseball to playing some of their worst, and right having lost back-to-back series in terms of losing 2 of 3 before that. They had been swept by this Blue Crabs team that they're facing tonight. So I'm sure the Ducks will be searching for a little bit of revenge here tonight against Southern Maryland.
No doubt about that, along with the fact that suddenly summer has turned to autumn just a little early. This is the final weekend of summer. Autumn officially arrives, the autumnal equinox, 10:29 p.m. Monday night. By that time, the Ducks will have concluded their season. Summer ends. We say goodbye with the final 3 games of this season, starting with tonight's opener against the Blue Crabs.
Weather definitely has been a little bit chillier, and it is still a nice night out, but you can tell some of the fans are bundling up, and unfortunately for the Ducks, usually that means postseason baseball is right around the corner. Again, for the Ducks, they will not be able to play in the postseason. They're still fighting for their playoff lives. They need to win all 3 games to have a chance here as they enter 3 games in back of Sugar Land lead. If Southern Maryland loses any of these 3, they will be out. If Sugar Land and Lancaster both win, then again, the Blue Crabs will be out of contention. So it's going to be tough for this Blue Crabs team here in this series, but they will try and do what they did a week ago, a little over a week ago, and that is sweep the Long Island Ducks. We are going to take a break here on the pregame show. When we come back, I sit down with last night's starting pitcher, John Brownell, who set a franchise record yesterday by making his 29th start of 2014. So we'll be right back here on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI.
Bowling balls and strikes at home plate is Derek Hoda. Coming third base is Dave Sorensen. And over there at the hot corner, otherwise known as third base at Bethpage Ballpark, Clyde John Torres. The umpires will then blue for tonight's ball game between the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and your Long Island Ducks.
Well, we are back here at Bethpage Ballpark. Tonight's game between the Long Island Ducks and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. First of 3 here to close out the 2014 regular season. Last night, John Brownell was going for his 14th win of the year, which would have tied a franchise record set by Mike Lurie in 2011. He unfortunately did not get that, but he did set the franchise record for most starts in a single season with his 29th of 2014. He's also got the most innings pitched in a single season by a Duck pitcher. I had the chance to catch up with the right-hander before today's ball game. John, last night your 29th start of the year, a brand new Long Island Ducks franchise record. Just talk to me about what that record means to you, as well as the record for most innings pitched as a Long Island Duck.
It's nice on a personal note. You set out personal goals before each season, but in the long run, we wanted to get back to the playoffs and defend the championship, and that's not going to happen. And so, as far as that goes, that was the ultimate goal. So the personal goals, those are nice, but right now just reflecting on the season as a team.
For you, I know you had mentioned to me previously that you wanted to go 200 innings. What was the reasoning for picking that number, and are you happy with the fact that you were able to exceed that this year?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That was the next level, I guess, or the next step as far as increasing my workload. And this league gives pitchers an opportunity to throw a lot of innings, and so I was just thankful that the Ducks gave me this year to accomplish a personal goal, and had a great team behind me to help me get deep into games, give me a lot of leads, made great plays behind me to give me that opportunity. So it was cool, and it was a great year. But like I said before, the ultimate goal is to get back to the playoffs as a team, and wish it could have happened.
Several guys on this team were teammates with you the last 2 years when you won championships, especially last season. Just give us an insight as to what the feeling is right now with this team and how disappointing it is after the way the last 2 seasons ended for you guys not to be able to defend that title.
We haven't really talked about it, but I'm sure guys feel similar. Just disappointed to get back there because that's what you want to do. But we're just trying to enjoy these last few days together because everybody's going to get out of here pretty quick once the season's over. And so just trying to the last few days we have together as a team.
Even though you won't be going to the postseason, overall this team is going to finish with a winning record this year, a lot of high points during the season. What are some that kind of stick out to you? Happy are you guys to be able to look back and say, you know what, we finished over 500 this year?
We had a really good year. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other teams that played really well, so it made it tough for us. Somerset's a really good team, best record in the league, I think. So to win a half with the division, it was tough, and then the other teams on the other side played really well all year long too. So. Just a lot of fun, great year. The league I felt like was better players overall. Made me a better player, and look forward to the future.
You referenced the talent in the Atlantic League and the overall. What about it do you think has made it that much better from the time you got here in 2012 until now?
Well, 2012 was such a brief stint, so that's hard to really gauge what the league was like, but last year was really good. Nothing to take away from the teams last year, but as a whole, I felt like this year, just the lineups just seemed deeper and a little bit stronger this year. I don't know what it was, what gave me that feel, but I could be wrong. That's just a personal feel that I had.
Tonight, you guys enter the final series of the year against the Blue Crabs, who swept you guys last week here at Bethpage Ballpark. How much, even though you guys can't make the playoffs, is it in you to kind of play spoiler to Southern Maryland and a little bit of revenge from last week?
We still got 3 games left, so every game you play, you want to win, regardless of what if there's no future beyond the last day. So we want to end on a high note. It may be some guys' last games of their career, so you want to send them out on a high note too.
All right, thanks so much, John, and best of luck in these next 3 games here.
All right, thank you.
We are back here at Bethpage Ballpark. Thanks so much, John Brownell, for joining us on the pregame show. Ducks have taken the field here at Bethpage Ballpark. Now it's time for the Italian national anthem.
Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta, dell'elmo di Scipio s'è cinta la testa, dov'è la vittoria, le porga la chioma, che schiava di Roma in Dio. Stringiamoci a corte, siamo pronti alla morte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia di amore. Stringiamoci a corte, siamo pronti alla morte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia di amore.
Italian national anthem here on what is Italian Heritage Night at Bethpage Ballpark. And now it is time for our national anthem this evening, which is going to be performed by the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra of New York.
What a wonderful national anthem from the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra of New York. About 50 pieces in that orchestra, Mike Pollack. Violins, cellos, and more as they disassemble, but a wonderful job. On the field, Long Island Hurricanes softball team, the Dream Teamers, Civil Air Patrol Squadron number 5, the Color Guard, along the line. So we're getting ready for the first pitch here at Bethpage Ballpark. When we come and that first pitch, you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Back at Bethpage Ballpark, Long Island Ducks, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs getting ready to kick off the final series of the regular season. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Blue Crabs, who will face Ducks right-hander Bob Zimmerman tonight as he makes the start for Long Island. It'll be Bobby Stevens leading off. Batting second in center field, is Jermaine Mitchell. The right fielder Kyle Hankard hits third, and in the cleanup spot is the second baseman, and that is Jake Opitz. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Steve Moss. C.J. Ziegler is around at first base. He will hit in the number 6 spot. Batting seventh, playing left field, is Mike Schwartz. Hitting eighth over at third base is Angel Chavez, and rounding out the order for the Southern Maryland Blue, their catcher James Skelton.
And leading off for the Blue Crabs, as Michael Pollack just mentioned, Bobby Stevens, shortstop for Southern Maryland. Be facing Bob Zimmerman on the mound. His first pitch is on the way, just misses outside for a ball.
Transportation Services start time of the game is 7:07.
7:07 start time. We'll get that game time temperature in just a moment. 1-0 pitch. I'd say it's 66.
Transportation Services temperature of tonight's ball game, 62 degrees.
62. I was a little warm. Well, hot flashes.
Chilly night.
Hot flashes. I'm getting a little older. 2-0 pitch on the way from Bobby Stevens. Nips the outside corner for a strike. 2-1. Stevens on the season at .271. 7 homers. Has knocked in 40. Zim with a record of 3 up and 2 down. 3.55 ERA. 2-1 pitch on the way. High and tight. Count evens at 2-2. Bob Zimmerman appearing in his 18th game, but making only his 4th start of the season. 38 innings pitched, 36 hits, has surrendered 15 earned runs, struck out 18, walked 21. 3-1 pitch just outside, so an opening walk to Southern Maryland's leadoff man, Bobby Stevens, here at Bethpage Ballpark.
I don't know how Zimmerman wanted to start things off there, but he has been strong as a starter this year. The last time he started was in Game 2 of a doubleheader, and that on September 4th. Picked up the win, tossed 5 shutout innings, gave up just 3 hits and a walk, struck out 2. Since then, he's pitched 5 innings of relief, but has done a very nice job this year after coming over in mid to late June, and has done really well when he has started.
Jermaine Mitchell at the plate, batting from the left side against the righty Zimmerman, who gets a strike on the outside corner. 0-1, Mitchell on the season, playing 24th game. He's a .280, 5 homers, has knocked in 46. He's also stolen 27 bases. Good idea to keep Mitchell off the base paths. Stevens takes a short lead, being held on, and he takes off. Throw down from Brendan Batts is not in time. A good swipe tag attempt by Dan Lyons. Throw was high. The Lyons trying to swipe it as he caught it, came down in the same motion, but Bobby Stevens with a stolen base, and that is his 14th steal of the season. He's only been caught once.
Yeah, if Brandon Vance made a little bit of a better throw. If it was lower, it might have been able to get him there. It was a close play at second base. I thought Lyons might have gotten it, but again, if the throw was a little bit lower, might have had a better shot at getting him.
Jermaine Mitchell standing deep in the box. Runner in scoring position as way up high. 2 balls and a strike. So, 62 degrees at game time. A lot of windbreakers, sweatshirts, and a good end for the first of the final games of the season here at Bethpage Ballpark and for the 2014 campaign. 2-1 pitch is on the way to Mitchell, and he flares it left field, playable. Adam Bailey takes a few strides over to his right, makes the catch easily, 1 down.
Well, fortunately, there is no wind to speak of right now. The flag's in right field just hanging without much movement. That would have made things a little bit cooler, but fortunately, no wind to speak of. It is a beautiful size, and Sunday will probably be a little bit more comfortable with a 1:35 start time as part of Fan Appreciation Day. So with the sun still out, it would certainly help. Unfortunately, now the sun is set. So with the month of September creeping towards its end and creeping ever closer to fall, you know, now that the sun, of course, sets earlier.
Coming set against the number 3 man in the Southern Maryland order, Kyle Hankard, who takes a strike. Down Carlton Avenue, 0-1 to Hankard, who's at .283, 6 homers, has knocked in 30. Just underway, Bethpage Ballpark, Ducks, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. 0-1 the count to Hankard at the plate. Bobby Stevens leads off second base. There's 1 down. Next pitch, fastball. You can hear the pop of the mitt from Brandon Batts up here, but it's high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Hankard. We talked about the weather and what's approaching this weekend. Going to be a 1:35 start this Sunday. Temperature on the final game of the season for the Ducks. Just foul down the left field line. Hankard out in front of an off-speed pitch from Zimmerman. And that one maybe just a foot and a half to the left of the third base bag. 1-2 to Kyle Hankard.
It's a tricky time of year where trying to figure out whether or not it's going to stay warm or if it's going to start to get colder and stay colder. And that's where you see a lot of people sometimes get sick or at least a little bit under the weather because it's hard to adjust. It's cold out like it is today, but then 2 days later it's going to be up in the 80s.
Well, cold and flu season's around the corner. Pharmacies are offering flu shots now. Where did this year go?
Don't remind me.
1-2 pitch on the way. Broken bat. Little flare eludes second baseman Cody Puckett, and coming around to score. Nope. Bobby Stevens held up at third base as the throw comes in quickly from Phelan Lantini. So Stevens held at third. Kyle Hankert with a broken bat single to right. Whole thing unfolding seemingly in slow motion. Cody Puckett didn't have time to get over to that little dying line drive off the bat of Hankert. So that goes to down as a single to right. Bobby Stevens over to third base. He holds there. Runners on the corners with only one down. Jake Opitz at the plate.
Yeah, at second, Stevens kind of held up there at first just to make sure Puckett wasn't going to be able to catch it on the line drive. But Puckett was shaded towards second, presumably to hold on the runner Stevens or to just shade up the middle for Hankert, and fortunately the ball was able to sneak past him and in the right.
Cleanup man Jake Opitz takes a strike on the outside corner. Good fastball from Zimmerman. 0-1. The dangerous Opitz at 281, 15 homers, which leads Southern Maryland this season, has knocked in 71. Second on the team in RBIs. 0-1 pitch on the way, just missing the outside corner. 1-1 to Jake Opitz. Bobby Stevens with the leadoff walk. He stole second. Jermaine Mitchell fly to left field. Kyle Hankert, the broken bat single to right. Runners on the corners, one down. That's where we are. Top of the first, Bethpage Ballpark. And a pitch on the way to Opitz. A slam deep right. And that one clears the Go Duck sign and is still going. Headed for Penn Station. Next stop, Brentwood. Watch the gap. All aboard. 2-0 Crabs. 3-0 Crabs.
Well, Jake Opitz there got a good pitch to hit out over the plate from Zimmerman. And I was just about to talk about how Southern Maryland's offense was in high gear the last time they were here, September 9th through the 11th. They combined to score 27 runs in the 3 games against the Ducks and held Long Island to just 12. And here in the first inning, Jake Opitz, who is the big bat in the middle of that Southern Maryland lineup, got a good pitch to hit and did what he was supposed to with it, and that was hit it over the right field wall.
Steve Moss, the DH, and fifth man in the order. At the plate, 0-1 the count to Steve Moss. Check swing. And count down to Steve Moss. On the season, Moss at 301, 5 homers, 24 RBIs. Bases cleared now. 3-run homer off the bat of Jake Opitz. Over everything to right field. And there's a ground ball foul left side. Remains 0-2 as the scoreboard makes the correction. So one down, the Ducks in an early 3-0 hole here at Bethpage Ballpark to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. 0-2 pitch on the way to Moss. A little flare. Dan Lyons has to take it on a hop and makes a quick throw. And he catches Steve Moss by half a step at first base. A nice play by Dan Lyons.
That was a great play by Lyons there. Not even going to be able to catch it in the air or not. In kind of one motion, he had to field it on a hop, pick it up, and throw to first, and he was able to complete the play for the out.
Not only that, but that little flare off the bat of Steve Moss had some English on it as well. So Lyons had to factor that in as he took the crazy hop and still threw out Steve Moss by a whisker. C.J. Ziegler, the first baseman, now up. Nobody on, 2 down, 3 runs in, top of the first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Ziegler at 273. 14 homers, and the team in RBIs with 75 as a check swing and a foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ziegler. 3-run homer from Jake Opitz here in the top of the first inning. Opitz's 16th homer of the year. That category for the Blue Crabs. Off the bat of Ziegler, hits it in the air, center field, coming in Lou Ford, still coming, and makes the grab in short center, and the side is retired. However, in the top of the first for Southern Maryland, 3 runs, 2 hits. The 3-run homer from Opitz, the big blow, and nobody left at the end of a half inning of play here at Bethpage Ballpark. The score, Southern Maryland 3, the Ducks coming up on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Back here at Bethpage Ballpark, Blue Crabs with an early 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Throughout the course of the season, every time a Ducks Municipal Credit Union made a donation to the Quacker Jack Foundation, Municipal Credit Union serving members since 1916. There was actually just a check presentation that was held down on the lower concourse 463 times between regular walks and intentional walks, and so a check just presented Credit Union to the Long Island Ducks Quacker Jack Foundation.
And for the Long Island Ducks, it'll be the top of the order to face Darrell Thompson of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, their right-hander. Phelan Lentini, Lou Ford to face Thompson with a record of 6-6, ERA of 4.89. His 22nd appearance overall, his 21st start this season as Lentini takes inside for a ball, 1-0. Phelan at .293, 6 homers, 62 RBIs. 2 balls and no strikes to Phelan. You do not want to walk Lentini. Why? Stolen bases, 46. Caught stealing, 0. Can't do much better than that. 2-0 pitch to Phelan. Foul out of play, right side over everything. 2 balls and 1 strike to Lentini, who is second in the league in steals. Only Wilson Valdez of the Revolution has more with 55.
And such a great job this year of stealing bases on every one of them.
2-1 pitch to Phelan. It's hit a long way. Jermaine Mitchell going back, way back at the wall, and the grab right at the left center field wall. 1 down. A long, loud first out for the Ducks off the bat.
That ball well, and when he squares the ball up, he's able to hit it a long ways. Unfortunately there, he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. It's 400 feet to the batter's eye in center field. This was a little bit more towards left center, so probably even a little bit deeper, but ultimately hit it to the wrong spot here at the duck pond, and that results in out number 1.
And here's Cody Puckett. Puckett at .291, 9 homers, 76 RBIs. And he takes inside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Cody. Puckett last night, a 3-for-4 night with a run scored in the Ducks' 5-3 loss here at home to the Lancaster Barnstormers.
And Puckett hitting in the 2 spot tonight with Brendan Harris getting the night off. Typically he hits down in the 5 or 6 spots in the order, but tonight batting second with Harris out of the lineup.
Next pitch, inside corner missing. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Cody Puckett. So far tonight, even with no wind and a crisp night, the ball does seem to be carrying. We saw it off the bat of Jake Opitz with that long home run to right, and Phelan Lentini nearly hit it out to center. Puckett's next swing results just to our right and out of play. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cody. Lou Ford on deck to be followed by Adam Bailey. C.J. Rutherford batting 5th. Brandon Joe Ashbro Sergio Miranda hitting 8th, and Dan Lyons, the shortstop, is number 9. That's the lineup against Darrell Thompson for the Blue Crabs. 2-2 pitch, 2 Puckett, curveball, inside, or outside rather. So the count full to Puckett at 3-2. The Ducks in an early hole here. That aforementioned 3-run homer by Jake Opitz. Top of the first, Ducks trailing 3-0 as they bat here. Half of inning number 1 at Bethpage Ballpark. Good crowd on hand. Last weekend of summer is underway, although it definitely feels like autumn tonight. 3-2 pitch to Puckett. Big swing and a fly ball infield. Bobby Stevens calling everybody off. That shortstop makes the grab, 2 down.
Well, the last time Darrell Thompson started against the Ducks was, in fact, his only start of the year against Long Island back on August 6th down at Regional Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland. Took the loss in an 8-4 Ducks win. He gave up 4 runs, all earned on 6 hits over 4 1/3 innings. Walked 3 and struck out 4. He's been a big pitcher for this Blue Crabs team over the last couple of years, but this season not having the year he would like to have with that ERA up almost near 5 and just 6 wins in 20 starts this season.
And here's Lou Ford, center fielder for the Ducks. Batting 3rd, 2 out, nobody on. First pitch, fastball down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Lou at .344 on the season. That's second in hitting in the Atlantic League. 15 homers and leads the Ducks in RBIs with 93. 0-1 pitch on the way, outside corner strike. Lou not thrilled with that call from umpire Derek Mochia. Umpire at first and around at third, John Torres. 0-2 the count to Lou Ford. Pitch on the way, ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Bobby Stevens. The throw on 2 hops to first, not nearly in time. Infield hit for Lou Ford. He's on with 2 down.
Ford hit it into the right spot there. He didn't hit it all that hard, but got it into the hole between third and short. And Stevens, who does play the shortstop position pretty well, had no chance at getting Ford on that one. As the first hit for the Ducks is Thompson trying to put up this scoreless inning in the bottom of the first. They call them shutdown innings after his team put up a 3 spot in the first inning, and obviously with every game so important for Southern Maryland, they desperately want to try and win here and win the next 2 and give themselves the best shot possible to win the second half Freedom Division title. But again, they would need both Lancaster and York and Sugar Land basically to lose out.
Yeah, they need lots of help. Adam Bailey at the plate, and he takes a strike on the pop on that fastball from Darrell Thompson. Bailey at an even 300, and he would love to finish the season at or above 3 magic mark. 20 homers, 89 RBIs. It was Adam Bailey's 20th home run of the year that produced the 100th homer of the season for the Long Island Ducks collectively, meeting the Chappies home run challenge once again. Bailey takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Adam. An 0-for-4 night last night against Lancaster here at Bethpage Ballpark. Hitting in the cleanup spot. He has scored 63 runs this year, playing his 126th game of the season. 1-1 pitch, check swing from Adam on the fastball that hits the mitt outside. 2 balls and a strike to Adam Bailey. Tonight, not only Italian Heritage Night, but also International Talk Like a Pirate Day, which may factor into some of the calls that you may hear during the evening.
Aye, aye, matey.
Something
You're
along,
welcome.
along those lines. 2-1 pitch to Adam, and he strokes it high to right center field. Jermaine Mitchell puts in a few steps, and the moonshot lands in his mitt, and the side is retired. In the inning for the Long Island Ducks, no runs, a hit, a man left at the end of 1 inning here at Bethpage Ballpark. The score, Southern Maryland 3, the Ducks nothing on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We have a dark blue Toyota Corolla, license plate number DSD 3913. Has to be moved immediately. It will be towed.
To the second inning we go. Blue Crabs 3, Ducks nothing. Time for the Ducks Health Report, which is brought to you by Island Shore Physical Therapy, the official therapist of the Long Island Ducks. Lunch right now. John Malone is on the disabled list with an arm injury. Won't be returning here in 2014, but aside from that, everybody is healthy. Lou Ford had a little bit of a scare last night, fouled the ball off of the inside of his leg, and it had to come out of the game. And for a guy who's played in every single game this season and is trying to become the first player in Atlantic League history to play in all 140, was a bit of a scare there, but he is okay. Actually was feeling better by the end of the game last night, and he's back in the lineup today and right out in the outfield playing center field.
Talk about an iron. Lou Ford has been that and everything else to the Long Island Ducks this season. Their hitting coach and leading by example with an MVP season. Certainly he'll gather more than a few votes for MVP of the league and MVP of the Ducks, to be sure. Mike Schwartz, left fielder for Southern Maryland, 7th in the order, facing Bob Zimmerman, in there for a strike, 0-1. Schwartz at 291, a homer and 9 RBIs. Batting from the left side against the righty, Zimmerman. 0-1 pitch on the way, sails wide, off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike to Schwartz, bottom third of the order for the Blue Crabs here in the top of the second. Schwartz, Angel Chavez, and James Skelton against Bob Zimmerman. 1-1 pitch on the way, high and away with a fastball, 2-1. Schwartz.
Well, looking at it, there's going to be 2 leading candidates this year. It would be probably Lou Ford of the Ducks and Cole Garner of the Barnstormers.
Yes, who has put together quite a season himself. And there's a swing, a miss, and letting go of the bat is Mike Schwartz. Instead of flying into the stands, which is usually the case, it ends up behind the catcher, which is rather unusual. Kind of a weird swing by Schwartz, and it's 2-2.
A lot of stats are very similar. There's cases to be made for both. In my estimation, the big reason you can make a case for Ford is if he does play all 140. That is something that has never been done before, and it is quite impressive, especially for somebody who's been 37 and now 38 this year.
Keep himself in the season he's had. 2-2 pitch on the way. Sails outside with fastball, 3-2.
The one reason I think a lot of people will probably go Cole Garner's way is that the Barnstormers very likely could be postseason bound,
right,
whereas the Ducks will not be. So it's all a matter of what weighs more in your mind, but both have had great seasons.
3-2 pitches on the way, and there's a tapper off the bat of Schwartz, and taken by third baseman Sergio Miranda. Flips across to Joash Brodeen at first, 1 down.
Start to the inning for Zimmerman after he walked the leadoff batter in the first inning. Wants to try and get through this bottom part of the order. This Southern Maryland team has been playing great baseball in the second half. They did not do well in the first half, and this was a team that the Ducks were completely dominating at the beginning of the year, but Southern Maryland certainly has changed things around. They've made some tweaks to their roster, and their lineup has been very much improved, and they looked extremely good against the Ducks here a little over a week ago. A dangerous team at this point of the year.
And the pitch on the way, fastball, catching the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Angel Chavez, third baseman, 8th in the order for Southern. 274, 4 homers, 38 RBIs. 0-1, smacked into the ground, a diving stop, but attempt by third baseman Miranda. And Lyons, though, gets it behind Miranda, throws across. The throw is offline. Brodeen made the tag on Chavez. 2 down, a great play all the way around.
Yeah, that was a tough one at first because Miranda looked like he was going to be able to get there, had to make a dive, couldn't get it, but a good job by Lyons to back him up and make the strong throw to first. And then again, as you mentioned, over at first base, Joash Brodeen doing a good job of coming off the base slightly to get the ball and slapping the tag as he went by to ensure the second out.
So Lyons to Brodeen, 2 down on 2 ground balls. Nobody on. Number 9 man in the order, James Skelton at the plate, the catcher for the Blue Crabs. First pitch on the way from Zimmerman, inside corner, fastball for a strike. 0-1, Skelton at 276, no homers, has knocked in 25. Crouching at the plate from the left side. 0-1 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes to Skelton. Ducks trailing 3-0, top of the second. Bethpage Ballpark. A crisp but otherwise beautiful evening for baseball. 0-2 pitch on the way. And a little pop up to shortstop off the bat of Skelton. And Dan Lyons, just on the outfield grass in left field, makes the catch, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3. Blue Crabs go quietly. We go to the bottom of the second here at Bethpage Ballpark, where the score remains. The Crabs 3, the Ducks nothing on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio.
He's selecting the photo during the end of the fifth inning, so don't wait. Right now.
Well, fans, every double play that the Ducks is presented by the New York State Public Employees Federation, PEF, the problem-solving union providing health care services, mental health services, and services to the developmentally disabled. New York State Public Employees Federation, the union that cares for the community.
David Weiss and Michael Pollack here on Italian Heritage Night at Bethpage Ballpark. I may not be Italian, but I married into an Italian family, always wanted to be Italian. And I feel right at home here tonight. And matter of fact, when you walked into the ballpark tonight, you heard everything from Dean Martin to Frank Sinatra. In fact, where else could you walk to a park and hear the summer wind came blowing in from across the sea?
You don't hear that too often. They've got the Italian-themed graphics on the video board, the Italian flag hanging out in right field. We had the Italian national anthem earlier. And there are a lot of delicious Italian food specials here tonight.
Oh, yeah. You can smell them here in the booth, or a would-be Italian like yours truly. 0-1 the count to C.J. Rutherford leading off for the Ducks, the DH here tonight. Thompson's next pitch, little high, 1 ball and 1 strike to C.J. playing in his 16th game as a Duck. He's at .281, a homer, 6 RBI. The year with the American Association and the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks, and he strokes one deep left field. Mike Schwartz is going back. He's looking up, and that thing is gone! On International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Hey, mateys, that one was hit high and fire! As C.J. mixed like Captain Jack Sparrow. He goes pillaging around the base. Homer and an RBI. It's 3-1 now. The Ducks trail by 2. Aye!
That was a good one. I like that. That was a home run call there, David. Great swing by C.J. Rutherford. Took a 1-1 pitch and drove it to the scoreboard in left center field. Second home run since coming here to the Ducks at Long Island on the scoreboard.
So Rutherford on International Talk Like a Pirate Day delivers, and the Ducks trail by 2. Brandon Batts nearly takes off the head of pitcher Darrell Thompson. Line drive right over his head and goes all the way through to center field to Jermaine Mitchell, who corrals it there. Brandon Batts with a base hit right up the middle, and the Ducks have something cooking now. A leadoff homer from C.J. Rutherford. His second homer of the season. Brandon Batts is aboard the tying run at the plate. Joash Brodeen coming up.
A good start for the Ducks here in the second inning, trying to rebound after that tough top half of the first, and both C.J. Rutherford and Batts have gotten some good pitches to hit. And they've done what they were supposed to with them, a home run and then the line drive right.
Thompson's pitch to Brodeen, falls in for a strike, took something off. 0-1 to Joe Ash at 258. 9 homers, has knocked in 58. He's also chipped in with 27 steals and 32 attempts. 0-1 pitch on the way. Big home run cut from Joe Ash. He was looking to tie it on that swing. And it's 0-2.
2 starts ago, went the complete distance against Bridgeport. Did allow 4 runs on 7 hits, but struck out 11, did not walk a batter. He will not walk many, only 38 over 116 innings here this season, but does have a tendency to give up a few too many hits.
And Brandon Batts taking a pretty healthy lead near the cutout. And that provokes a throw from Thompson. Batts diving back safely. Brandon, for a catcher, runs fairly well. Does have 1 steal in 1 attempt. Now he resumes his lead, as Joe Ash swings and misses an off-speed pitch, and he was way out in front. First strikeout for Darrell Space, and Sergio Miranda coming up.
That's going to be the key for Thompson, is getting that breaking ball over for strike. Misses on it. That is when he is most successful. He's not going to really blow guys away, but he's a crafty right-hander who has a very good breaking ball, and when that thing is on, it's very tough for the opponent to make contact.
Sergio Miranda with the open stance from the left side against the righty Thompson. Pitch on the way as he goes the other way, and that one is wide and caught on the run by Mike Schwartz in left field. And he caught that one underhanded, basket catch running in from left field. Hit well by Miranda with a sinking line drive. Again, a nice grab by Schwartz, 2 down.
Yeah, Miranda got a good piece of wood on that. And it's just a matter of whether or not it was going to sink enough to fall down before it got to the left fielder or stay up in the air enough for Schwartz to make the catch. And unfortunately for Miranda, it did stay up long enough. And Miranda getting a chance to play back-to-back nights here. Now that the Ducks have officially been eliminated, he's been the infielder for this team throughout the course of the year. Hadn't played since September 1st before tonight. But now Kevin Baez giving him a couple chances to play here late in the season.
Dan Lyons, number 9 man of the order, the shortstop. 1-0 to Lyons at .255, 4 homers, 37 RBIs. 14 steals as well, caught stealing only once. Brandon Batts taking his lead at first base with 2 down now. Pitch to Lyons, outside corner, a strike. Fastball from Thompson, 1-1.
Lyons has 4 homers, the most he's hit in a single season since coming over to Long Island back in 2011. One of the reasons why he was chosen as one of the nominees for Team MVP this year.
No doubt. Does so many things well, and now getting picked off. Brandon Batts at first base, just standing there. Didn't even to the bag, completely fooled, or maybe just a lack of concentration. Darrell Thompson throwing over to first base and getting picked off is Brandon Batts. That goes 1-3, and that is the 3rd out. So when we get to the bottom of the 3rd, Dan Lyons will resume his at-bat with a fresh count. So that'll do it for the Ducks in the inning. 1 run, 2 hits. The 1 run coming off the bat of C.J. Rutherford with a home run to left center field. And at the end of 2 complete, the score now, Southern Maryland 3, the Ducks 1 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Well, when C.J. Rutherford homered out to left center field in the bottom of the 2nd inning, was the 101st home run of the season for the Long Island Ducks. They have already hit over 100, which means they have met the Chappie's Home Run Challenge this season, and Chappie's Funeral Homes donating $5,000 to the Foundation. Chappie's Funeral Homes, where caring for others is our family tradition.
And Bob Zimmerman back on the mound for the Long Island Ducks as we go to the top of inning number 3. Southern Maryland leading 3-1. Back to the top of the order for the Crabs. Bobby Stevens, who led off with a walk in the top of the first inning, would come around on a 3-run homer. A few batters later, off the bat of Jake Opitz, and there you have your 3 runs for the Blue Crabs. 1 ball and no strike. Righty-righty matchup here with Zimmerman. 1-0 pitch. There's a ground ball just fouled down the left field line. Stevens hit it well, but was out in front. 1-1.
Bobby Stevens has been dangerous against this Ducks team in that last series against Long Island, but entering tonight, Stevens a .296 hitter against Long Island, and that really was elevated with a terrific series back September 9th through the 11th.
Stevens began the season with the Camden River Sharks, came on over to Southern Maryland, moving from Camden south to Waldorf, Maryland. There's a strike, off-speed pitch from Zimmerman, 1-2. Somerset Patriots last year hitting .254 in 109 games with the Pats, who are headed back to the playoffs. 1-2 pitch, a backhand attempt by Zimmerman misses. The off-balance throw from Cody Puckett, not in time, but a beautiful attempt by Puckett as the ball eluded Zimmerman on the mound. He tried to backhand it blindly, facing actually away from home plate, and then Cody Puckett took it off balance, but the flip not in time to Brodeen, so an infield single for Bobby Stevens. He is aboard to lead off here the third.
Cody Puckett showing good range. I think the ball was slowed a little bit when it hit the mound on its way back towards the middle, but I didn't think that was going to stay in the infield. But Puckett makes a nice play and actually made it a pretty close play at first, but Stevens was able to beat it out.
Yeah, surprisingly close. Jermaine Mitchell at the plate, takes out stride, 1-0. Mitchell fly to left, his first time up. So Southern Maryland looking to extend the lead here. They lead 3-1, top of the third. Zimmerman's pitch to Mitchell, just missing the outside corner, and it's 2-0. To Jermaine Mitchell, Kyle Hankard waiting on deck.
Sergio Miranda plays in on the grass just in case Mitchell decides to lay down a bunt. Up by 2, I don't think they will. But Southern Maryland is a team that does like to bunt.
2-0 pitch, fastball with good pop but high. So Zimmerman falling behind on Mitchell, 3 balls and no strikes. Southern Maryland finished the first half 29-41, but are 37-30 and still mathematically alive for the playoffs with 3 games left, but need lots of help as we have detailed earlier. 3-1 the count to Mitchell as Zimmerman gets a strike over. 3 runs, 3 hits for Southern Maryland to this point. 1 run, 3 hits for the Ducks. Top of the third. Taking his lead is Bobby Stevens. Pitch on the way and fouled straight back. And the count now full at 3 balls and 2 in the top of the first inning, but so far has been to the first base bag.
Now with 2 strikes, Miranda drops a couple steps back at third. Middle infielders at double play depth, and we'll see if Zimmerman can work back from 3-0 down in the count to get it out.
And the runner does take. There's a ground ball to short. The flip over to second. They got it for 1. Back to first. Not in time as Mitchell beats it.
Close play over there at first. It was a good job by Dan Lyons. I thought he was going to take the sure out at first, but he was able to shovel it quickly enough to Cody Puckett to get Stevens at second despite him taking off. But he was able to make the play and get the force out, and then the turn to first by Puckett, a good one. And it was close, but just safe was Mitchell. And so now runner at first with 1 out for Hankard.
As you mentioned, a very close play with Stevens taking off on a hit and run and a full count. But by an eyelash, Stevens has erased on the force play, 6-4. And the return throw, not able to get Jermaine Mitchell, who now replaces Stevens on the base path. And he's got plenty of speed himself. Pitch to Kyle Hankard is high and tight. 1 ball and no strikes to Hankard. Got a broken bat single to right field his first time up. And would score on a 3-run homer from Jake Opitz, who is taking his cuts in the on-deck circle right now. Lead at first base. Pitch from Zimmerman is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kyle Hankard. Kyle spelled C-Y-L-E. You won't see that very often, but pronounced the same way as it would be for K-Y-L-E. If that makes any difference to you whatsoever. Probably not. 1-1 the count to Hankard. As Zimmerman comes set. And the pitch, well inside, nearly hit Kyle. Had to stand straight up to get out of the way. It's 2-1.
Zimmerman has only faced Southern Maryland once before this year, and that was on September the 9th, last Tuesday, here at the ballpark. Pitched 2 innings of relief, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 walk.
See if skipper Lance Burkhardt wants to put Mitchell in motion here. Count is 2-1. It's a good count to go, but he's not going. And a swing and a foul to the left side and back to the screen. And the count now 2-2 to Kyle Hackard. Mitchell on the season, 27 steals, caught stealing 5 times.
Yeah, this lineup for Southern Maryland, I was just going to say, is kind of under the radar good. They don't have any of the big names, none of the guys who are right near the top of the league leaders, but especially their 3 through 6 hitters, from Hankard to Opitz to Moss to Ziegler, 4 very good hitters there in the middle of the lineup.
So the count at 2-2 with Hackard at the plate. Mitchell, and there's the line drive taken by Deadline. Throw across is not in time. Gets away from first baseman Joash Brodeen as Mitchell had to scamper, being doubled off first base. But a nice jumping catch of that line drive off the back of Kyle Hankard, and that is the second out, nearly a double play.
Close play there. Lyons was able to make the leaping catch and immediately saw that Mitchell was kind of far off that first base bag. So they tried to snap it back over there. I think they caught the foot of Mitchell on the way back to the bag. Otherwise, it would have been a close play again to see if the Ducks could have turned 2. Instead, runner at first with 2 out, and now the dangerous Jake Opitz coming to the plate.
We've already seen 2 fine plays in the field by Dan Lyons, and again, it's more than just the batting average. It is the knowledge of the game, his incredible glove at short, steady, day in, day out, and that is why he has been one of the MVPs of the Ducks this season. Opitz swinging on the first pitch, and this one will stay in the ballpark, unlike his first one that is still going over the right field wall. This one caught in center field by Lou Ford, and that will do it. Here in the 3rd inning for the Blue Crabs. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd at Bethpage Ballpark, where the score remains the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 1. On Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
To the bottom half of the 3rd inning we go. Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 1, with Jake Opitz flying out to center field to end the top of the 3rd inning. Was the 15th out of tonight's ball game. And did you know that a 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on your car insurance by giving a phone call to Geico? Get a free quote today. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO, or visit geico.com.
So it'll be Dan Lyons, bottom of the order for the Long Island Ducks, against the right-hander for Southern Maryland, Darryl Thompson. Then back to the top, and Phelan Lentini Puckett. He of inning number 3. Lyons was at the plate to his at-bat when Brandon Batts, who had singled up the middle a few batters earlier, was picked off first base. And Lyons, first pitch swinging, pop up, short right field, and coming all the way over, I believe that was second baseman Jake Opitz with the catch. Opitz had a long run. Again, there's no breeze to speak of, but everything seems to be carrying tonight. Even those pop-ups to the infield, that one carried to short right. One pitch, one down. Dan Lyons retired.
That one had a lot of hang time on it as Lyons got under it and kind of golfed it in the air to shallow right field. But Opitz had the best angle at it rather than the first baseman Ziegler straight back to try and get it, and it was much too shallow for the right fielder Kyle Hankert.
So back to the top of the order now, and Phelan Lentini flied to center his first time up. First pitch is right down the middle for a strike. Fastball from Thompson. 0-1 to Lentini. Darrell Thompson has given up 1 run, 3 hits thus far. C.J. Rutherford that plated the Ducks' run. Slider from Thompson misses outside. 1-1.
Lentini had a pretty good series against the Barnstormers earlier this week. 3 of 11. Had a double, 2 RBIs, a run, a hit by pitch, and his 46th steal of the year.
Big looping curveball from Thompson. Misses just low. 2 balls and a strike. Lentini was 1 for 4 last night against Lancaster. We keep mentioning it when he comes up. 46 for 46 in the stolen base department. And there's a broken bat line drive to third baseman Angel Chavez. The bat hit it all the way to Chavez as well. 2 down.
Lentini didn't hit that one as well as he did the first time. That one appeared to get jammed on the pitch inside, and that's what shattered the bat. First time up, rocketed one at deep left center, but just stayed in the yard. And we talked about last night's game a bit there. It was a good pitching matchup. All the runs coming though in the 4th inning, and the Barnstormers were helped out by 2 very big Duck errors. One on a ground ball back to the mound by Brownell, and then a fly ball to right field with 2 runners on that Phelan Lentini just misplayed, had to go off his glove. 2 runs scored on that play.
And Cody Puckett hits it a long way to left field on a line, warning track, and grabbed by Mike Schwartz. So if Cody had gotten just a little more air under that one, it would still be going. So first pitch swinging, Puckett lines out to left field very quickly on just a handful of pitches. 3 up and 3 down. Lyons, Lentini, and Puckett all retired very quickly. We have finished 3 here at Bethpage Ball. Southern Maryland 3-1 on Long Island's home for News 1039 LI News Radio. We're back at Bethpage Ballpark. David Weiss, Michael Pollack going to the top of inning number 4, and it's time for some 4th inning trivia. The Ducks and baseball as a whole. This is the final series for the Long Island Ducks, 3 against Southern Maryland. Tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday afternoon. We take it back to the evening of May the 2nd. Home opener, which seems like just a few minutes ago, and our trivia question concerns that. Michael Pollack will take over now for play-by-play.
Thank you very much, David Weiss. First pitch is hit into the air to by Steve Moss. Lou Ford camps under it. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning.
So, May 2nd, 2014, the Ducks fell to the York Revolution on 6-1. First home game of the season. Their 1 run was scored on a home run by which Long Island Duck? It was his first home run of the season in the Ducks' first home game. Long Island Duck hit that home run during the home opener way back on May the 2nd of this year. That is your question, Michael Pollack.
I think I know that one, but we will wait and see if my answer is correct. First pitch is taken low for ball 1. Ziegler, who fly to center field, ending that 3-run top half of the first inning. Now the 1-0 from Zimmerman, kicks and fires, and Ziegler grounds one out the third baseline foul, grabbed there by Jeremy Owens, who is coaching at third. Count is even at 1-1.
There is something rather symmetrical about this player hitting the first home run of the season. That is, and we'll get to the answer in the bottom half of this inning. But doesn't that home opener seemed like just a few minutes ago. Where did these months go?
It's quick was the 1-1. He's taken on the outside corner, for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2. Fans are going to get excited here with 2 strikes on Ziegler. Chance to win some breadsticks. If Ziegler strikes out here, fans will get some free breadsticks. From the wind, the 1-2 pitch, and Ziegler swings, lines it into center field, and that'll be a base hit. Played on a hop by Lou Ford. He'll fire it back into Cody Puckett. And so the fans won't be able to get breadsticks here in the 4th. It's now 1 for 2.
Doesn't matter, they're still chanting breadsticks. Has more to do, I think, with their stomachs than it does with Ziegler.
They just like to chant breadsticks.
Yeah.
So with 1 on and 1 out, that is going to bring up Mike Schwartz, the left fielder and 7 batter for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who grounded out to third base his first time up. Zimmerman will now have to work out of the stretch. Hit by Ziegler, the 4th for Southern Maryland tonight. And the first pitch on the way from Zimmerman, and Schwartz takes a breaking ball just low. And the count goes to 1-0.
Give Zimmerman credit here. He could have been ruffled a bit by that 3-run home, but has settled down nicely since.
Gets the sign from Bance, and his 1-0 on the way. Kicks and fires, and that misses up and outside. And that is ball 2. Southern Maryland last night played at home against the Somerset Patriots, picked up a 5-2 win with a 3-run bottom half of the 8th inning. And now the 2-0. Ground ball towards second, could be 2. Puckett will throw to first, low, dug out by Brodeen. Now the throw to short, and it hits the runner Ziegler, so unable to make the play there was Lyons. Interesting decision there by Puckett to go to first for the first out, and he almost threw it away. And instead of going the short way and getting the force out, he ends up getting the out at first. And so now a runner at second with 2 down for Angel Chavez.
Yeah, usually the book tells you, you wait there and take the lead runner and just have the runner replaced at first base. Don't put anybody in scoring position. And you're right about Brodeen making that short-handed scoop on an errant throw from Puckett. Brodeen preventing what could have been a real disaster there.
Saving Puckett of his 18th error of the year. First pitch to Chavez is taken outside for ball 1. Now Ziegler doesn't run well at second base, but again, you get the force out there at base. Now you have a runner at first with 2 out, and a base hit will not score the run. Now in this case, the base hit, depending on where it's hit, could definitely score that run, as this just misses outside and the count 2-0.
Of course, Puckett also had the option of turning around, throwing to Dan Lyons at second base, and complete a double play that way. So,
well, at least get the force out.
Yep.
You know, that even if it would have been tough to get the double play because it wasn't hit so hard, but it could have at least gotten at second. The 2-0 was in for a strike, good fastball. But I think Puckett there thought with Ziegler's speed he might have had a chance to throw to first and then make the throw back to second for that double play, a 4-3-6 double play, but ultimately did not work. And now it'll be a 2-1 here to Chavez, who grounded out his first time up in the air to shallow left. The shortstop Dan Lyons field grass, he'll make the catch, and ultimately doesn't matter as the Ducks get out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, and a runner stranded at second base. 3.5 complete here at Bethpage Ballpark. It is the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 1 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio.
I'd like to thank each group for their valuable support, especially the big group that we have here tonight. The Long Island cheer from Ronkonkoma, who performed for us.
We are back at Bethpage Ballpark. David Weiss, Michael Pollock, bottom of the fourth. Ducks trailing the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 3-1. And time to answer our trivia question that we posed in the top half of this frame, testing your knowledge of the Ducks and baseball as a whole. Here we are, September the 19th, 2014. 3 games left, including this one to the 2014 season. Way back on May the 2nd of this year, the home opener for the Ducks. Long Island lost that one to the York Revolution 6-1. Their 1 run scored. Which Long Island Duck who hit a home run? It was in the 5th. He hit his first homer of the year and the Ducks' first home game of the year, and it was
Adam Bailey.
Adam Bailey is absolutely right. It came in the 5th inning of that game. Adam Bailey hitting the Ducks' first homer of the year, but his 20th homer of the year just a few nights back produced the Ducks' 100th homer of the year. That is what you call bookending it, and that is your Long Island Duck trivia for the evening.
First pitch to Darryl Thompson. Base on, the count is 0-1. That first home run was hit off of Elaine Quijano Revolution. And again, as you mentioned, that was the only run of the night in a 6-1 loss. The Ducks had some troubles with York, who is playoff bound this year as the first half Freedom Division champions. 0-1 to Ford, and he takes outside, even up the count at 1-1. Lou Ford, an infield single to short in his first at bat. That was back in the first inning. And here's the 1-1. That slider misses low and outside for ball 2. Ford was 2 of 8 in the series against Lancaster. Drove in 2-1. So it's 2 in back of Chad Tracy of the York Revolution for the Atlantic League lead in runs batted in. 2-1 from Thompson. And Ford swings and misses at a fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch from Thompson. Count 2-2.
Talked about Ducks losing their home opener. It took the Ducks a little while to get going in that first half, but when they did, they won in bunches. 41-29 record in the first half. However, Somerset just a juggernaut in the first half, winning 47 games. Ducks finishing 6 games back.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Thompson got the fastball by Ford. Down in the zone, and for Thompson, that is strikeout number 2, 1 out.
Not easy to get a fastball by Lou Ford. He had a really good cut at it, but goes down swinging.
Who had 2 big winnings. A 7-gamer and an 8-gamer. They just came slightly off in terms of time. The 7-game losing streak came a little bit late in the first half. The first 5 games of that 7-game winning streak were the last 5 games of the first half.
Right.
And by that point, the Ducks were already out of contention for the first half Liberty Division title as Adam Bailey takes ball 1. And then the 8-game winning streak came a little bit early before the end of the second half as the 1-0 is ripped into right field, a base hit for Bailey. So Adam Bailey has the 4th hit of the night for the Ducks, 1 on with 1 out. The Ducks were playing great baseball. They got to within a half game in the division. They were card standings, but then they followed that up with 6 straight losses. And that certainly hurt the Ducks. And after those 6 straight losses, it was to the Revolution and the Barnstormers entering this one. So the Ducks have not been playing great baseball of late. And they're going to try and turn things around and get a series win here against Southern Maryland to a spoiler and B to close out the season on a high note. So a runner at first with 1 out here is C.J. Rutherford, who's driven in the only run of the night for the Ducks, and he fouls one right back to the screen behind home plate for strike 1.
Yeah, C.J. with that home run to back in the second inning, and just had another home run cut right there.
Good swing, just missed it. Scared a couple fans sitting in the front row right behind that screen.
Yeah, it's tough not to flinch, even though you know you'd have the net in front of you. It's like flinching when a wall of water hits your windshield driving on the LIE.
0-1, swing and a miss for a strike, and the ball went down in the dirt, got past the catcher Skelton. And so on the wild pitch, Adam Bailey will make his way down to second. The Ducks now with a runner in scoring position with 1 out, though Rutherford is behind, 0-2.
Well, CJ, who had that home run cut on the first pitch, trying to tie the game. Now, he could slice that deficit to just 1 run with a base hit. That's all you need. And with 2 strikes, CJ will be shortening up on that swing to be sure.
So Bailey will take his lead at second. Good speed for the Ducks as Thompson dangles the right arm looking in for the sign. Gets the pitch he likes from Skelton. And now the 0-2. Rutherford, a swing and a miss for strike 3. That breaking ball down in the zone. 2 strikeouts in the inning. With 2 away, that'll leave it up to Brandon Bance.
Yeah, Thompson's got pretty good pop on that fastball, and again, the variance in terms of miles per hour between the fastball and the off-speed stuff is drastic enough to keep the Ducks off balance, and it has produced 2 strikeouts in this inning, sandwiched in between the Adam Bailey single. And now it's up to Brandon Bance.
And that is what has made him so successful, is when he's able to mix up his location and mix up his speeds. Kept the Ducks off balance for the most part tonight. So with 2 out here is Brandon Bance, who singled his first time up and then was picked off at first base for the final out of the second inning. Thompson comes set. First pitch to Bance is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball 1. Bance was just 1 of 8 in the series against the Barnstormers with a run scored. Did not play the final game of that series when Jan Vasquez did the catching. That was last night, and Vasquez had a 2-for-4 night with 2 extra base hits and a 3-run double in there. 1-0, another curveball. This one is in for a strike, and the count even up 1-1.
Boy, that curveball is probably coming in at less than 70 miles an hour. I mean, it is a lollipop curve, but when you get good location, very tough to pull the trigger on it.
And the speed difference between that and the fastball just makes it that much tougher. So here comes the 1-1 as Bailey leads at second. Thompson looks there, now deals, and Bance takes low and outside. 2-1 count. Joe Ashbrodine waiting on deck. Ducks trail 3-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Each team with 4 hits. Neither side has committed an error.
Got some very enthusiastic young fans right in front of us, as you can hear.
So now the 2-1 from Thompson, and Bance takes low and outside on a fastball. Thompson was upset with himself after that pitch. Count now 3-1. Bance trying to work his way on and give Joe Ashbrodine an opportunity here in the 4th inning.
I'll tell you, all the parents sitting behind these youngsters are hoping they just yell themselves out for a good night's sleep when they get home. A lot of energy down there.
So it'll be a 3-1 here from Thompson. He comes set, deals to the plate, and Bance takes low for ball 4 in the dirt. Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quacker Jack Foundation wins. First walk of the night allowed by Darryl Thompson. The Ducks with 2 on here in the 4th. Tying runs at first and second with 2 out. And here is Joe Ashbrodine, the switch hitter and first baseman, batting in the 7th spot.
Well, listen, we mentioned that the ball is really carrying tonight. Early in the count, Joe Ash probably takes some very healthy cuts. With 1 swing, Ducks could take the lead.
Brodine waves the bat from the left side. Runners lead, and the first pitch is taken inside for ball 1. Brodine struck out swinging on 3 pitches back in the 2nd. Took a called strike, then swung through the next 2 for the first strikeout of the game from Thompson, who is trying to strike out the side here in the 4th. 1-0 to Brodine, and he swung up foul, third base side. A race to the stands for Chavez, but this will be well back into the seats. That'll leave it up to count at 1-1.
You got to give Chavez credit. He took it on a hop off the concourse between the decks and then turned to the umpire and said, "I've got it. Look, I got it."
Never hit the grass on the field, so.
Trying to fake it out.
There you go.
But nobody was buying. It's a foul.
So the count is even up at 1-1 here on Brodine. Bailey, the runner at second, good speed. Average speed for Bance, who leads at first. Thompson's 1-1. Kicks and fires, and Brodine swings and misses. Fastball diving down in the zone. And Brodine now behind 1-2. Sergio Miranda would be next for the Ducks if he gets an opportunity in the 4th. Ducks trail by 2 as Thompson dangles the ball in his right hand. Looks in a home plate. Now is ready to go. And it's 1-2 to Brodine on and missed for strike 3. It was way out in front of that pitch. So Darryl Thompson strikes out the side in the 4th. 4 strikeouts now for the game, no runs. Hit and 1 walk. Ducks leave 2. After 4 innings here at Ballpark, it is the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 1 on news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Duck fans, don't forget to stop by the Waddle Inn Shop on your next visit to the Duck Pond, where exclusive, hard-to-find Ducks memorabilia is now on sale. Proceeds benefit the Quacker Jack Foundation, the charitable arm of the Long Island Ducks. And we only have games after this one, so that's your opportunity to visit the Waddle Inn Shop to get all of that Duck memorabilia. Ducks trail 3-1 to Southern Maryland, top of the 5th here at Bethpage Ballpark.
And it'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters for Southern Maryland against Bob Zimmerman, who begins his 5th work. It'll be James Skelton, Bobby Stevens, and Jermaine Mitchell to bat against the right-hander. And from the windup, his first pitch on the way is taken on the outside corner for strike 1. Skelton's first time up resulted in a pop-out to the shortstop Dan Lyons. 2-3 second inning for the Ducks righty. Here's his 0-1, and this breaking ball's in for another called strike. We count quickly, 0-2 on Skelton.
You go all the way back to the first inning, and that 3-run homer from Jake Opitz, putting the 3 runs up on the board for Southern Maryland. Zimmerman has retired 11 of the next 13 he's faced, only a couple of singles since, so he has really settled down.
It really has done a very nice job. Again, made just one bad pitch in the first inning. The leadoff walk certainly did not help. The 1-2 is up and away for ball 2. And again, Southern Maryland, they did that the last time they were here. Just a couple of bad pitches, and they had runners on base at the time. And that was the fortunate thing in that first inning, to have 2 on for that home run by Opitz. And now Zimmerman has thrown 3 straight out of the zone after getting ahead 0-2 on Skelton. The last thing you want to do is put him on base, with Bobby Stevens waiting in the on-deck circle with how he has hit against the Ducks this year. So here's the payoff pitch, and Skelton will take low and inside for ball 4.
Well, that didn't miss by much.
Not a good sequence there for Zimmerman. He got ahead 0-2, but threw 4 straight out of the zone and walks of the ball game. And we know how the first inning went when Zimmerman allowed the leadoff walk, so he will try and rebound here. And here's Bobby Stevens, who has been on base twice tonight.
Don't let the fact that Skelton is a catcher fool you. Skelton can run. 11 steals, has been caught stealing only 3 times. As Michael mentioned, you don't find any Southern Maryland names among the leaders in stolen bases, but everyone on this team can run.
So here is Stevens to the plate, and the first pitch misses inside for ball 1. And those numbers you just gave are what he's done just with Southern Maryland. If you combine those stats with what he did with Lancaster, 15 steals on the year in 19 attempts.
For a catcher, for anybody, he can run.
That was the advantage he had with Somerset last year when he was a member of the Patriots. He was a catcher that had some speed to complement Adam Donahue. 1-0, there he goes. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw down to second base is in time. Tag was applied by Cody Puckett. I think Skelton might have actually got in there, but then his hand came off the bag and Cody Puckett made the tag. It was tough to tell from this far away, but either way it is a caught stealing. The put out goes 2-4, just like that one out.
It seems like the ball and Skelton arrived the same time, but Skelton looked like he beat it, but may have overslid the bag, or his just hand came off, and Cody Puckett was able to tag him.
1-1 grounded back towards the middle. Puckett on the backhand and his throw to first in time. He had Stevens played well right up the middle. This time he played after just wasn't able to in the third on a close play. So Stevens retired for the first time tonight. He's now 1 for 2, and with 2 away, that'll leave it up to Jermaine Mitchell.
One thing that we've seen with attempted steals and players trying to stretch a single to a double into a stay on the bag. Umpires, I think, quite a while ago were just going to let it go with the bag, but now if you don't stay on the bag and the fielder to apply the tag, you're going to be called out.
First pitch over the outside corner for strike 1. So for 2 to 90, fly to left in the first inning, then grounded into fielder's choice in the third. 0-1 is low, and that'll leave it up to count. Mitchell yesterday was 2 for 4 against the Patriots, picked up his 14th double of the year, and RBI 73 and 74. This one is, my mistake, 45 and 46. I was looking at Montanez and not Mitchell. Pitch was taken low. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Zimmerman kicks and deals home, and Mitchell takes a strike on the outside corner. Close pitch. Mitchell did not like the call from Derek Moshe, but the count is even at 2-2.
One thing you got to love about Zim, he works quickly. The old saying, he works as if he's...
That's the one thing he has kept as part of his game. is working fast on the mound, and now his 2-2 offering to the plate is here towards third. Miranda races in, bare hands, juggles, throws to first, not in time. Mitchell beat it out. I don't even think Miranda would have been able to make the play had he not juggled it, but infield single for Mitchell. 5th hit of the game for Southern Maryland. They have a runner at first with 2 down.
Yeah, Mitchell twice now, once in replacing Bobby Stevens on a 4. And now he's aboard again with all that speed, 27 steals on the season. And again, he just tapped it lightly to third base. Miranda didn't have much of a shot. Probably would have been wiser to have held on to the ball instead of risking an errant throw, but no harm done. Mitchell aboard.
That a big infield single. Now you get Kyle Hankard to the plate. Runner goes, pitch swung and fouled off by Hankard. So Southern Maryland putting a hit and run on there with Mitchell taking Hankard swinging away. It's a foul ball count, 0-1. Hankard single in his first at bat back in the opening inning, then scored on the home run by Opitz. In the third, lined out to shortstop Dan Lyons.
Yeah, we've got speed on the bases. It's a distraction everywhere. To the hitter, the pitcher, infield. That's what speed can do.
So it'll be an 0-1 here to the righty swinging Hankard. Zimmerman gets the sign, peers over his left shoulder. Now the 0-1, swung on and grounded foul, this time into the Blue Crab dugout along the third base line. And Zimmerman quickly ahead of Hankard, 0-2 as he tries to record the final out of 3-1 Blue Crabs in front of the Ducks in the opener of a 3-game set final regular season series here at Bethpage Ballpark. Zimmerman gets the sign. Mitchell leads it first, and now the 0-2 pitch. Kicks and fires, and Hankard swings and grounds it to the left side. Dan Lyons, the shortstop, fields. His throw to first is in time. Hankard is retired, and that will end the inning. So no runs on a hit and a walk, no errors, and 1 left on base. 4.5 complete. We're halfway through on this chilly Friday night. It is the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 1 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs with a 3-1 lead over the Ducks. Put on scoreboard as the Blue Crabs getting some help in Lancaster tonight. River Sharks have an early 1-0 lead, top half of the 4th inning. Nick Tabar, the starter for the Camden, and Matt Packer, the starter for the Barnstormers. Camden no-hitting Lancaster through the first 3 innings. Mike Albaladejo has driven in the only run of the game so far for Camden. Sugarland is just underway at home against the York Revolution. No scores. They go to the bottom half of the 1st inning. Corey Thurman for York and Steve Hammond for Sugarland. First pitch on the way to from Thompson to Miranda is taken inside for ball 1. And in Bridgewater, New Jersey tonight, Bluefish have an early 2-0 lead over the Patriots. Bottom of the 5th inning now. It is starting for Somerset, Tomo Oka for the Bluefish. As this is Miranda for ball 2. Joe Mather has driven in the only 2 runs of the game with a home run tonight. That came in the 4th inning. 2-0 to Miranda. He takes upstairs. A good start to the at-bat for Miranda, who flied out to left field on the first pitch he saw back in the 2nd inning for the 2nd out of the inning. And now the 3-0. There's a strike on the fastball from Thompson. Count is 3-1.
So the York Revolution heading back to the playoffs, and as chilly as it is here, Michael Pollack and I could tell you about a particular day in York, Pennsylvania in 2011. Fell to the York Revolution, unfortunately, in that particular championship series, but you and I don't know if I've ever had a colder afternoon. That was that final game of the season.
Yeah, it was quite cold as Miranda drew the walk to start the inning, and temperatures were right around the 40-degree mark, and just bitter temperatures, bitter wind. It was not kind for any of the teams out on the field, and unfortunately for the Ducks, they had a lead late in Game 4 of that series, but York rallied against the Ducks bullpen and found a way to win their second straight championship.
Still shivering thinking about it.
So Miranda at first pitch to Lyons is inside for ball one. By the way, that walk by Miranda was another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time the Ducks batter walks, the Quacker Jack Foundation wins. Lyons popped to second his first time up. That was leading off the third inning, which was a 6-pitch inning for Darryl Thompson. Throw over, and Miranda is back safely.
I told this story before, but I remember after that, dissing each other a hug, and he said, you know something? We're going to be back here next year in the finals, and we're going to win it. And he was right, and they did it twice.
1-0. That's lined into right center field. Long run over for the right fielder, Hanker. He will make the grab. Miranda will have to head back to first. So that is out number one. Of course, in 2012, Ducks didn't actually win it in York, but they did win it here on this field. Master Barnstormers.
That was a little bunt heard around the world, wasn't it?
Yep, and that wasn't great weather either. I remember that night that they won. It was chilly, it was rainy, very similar temperature-wise to this, but it was a much rainier night. But they were able to play through it, and the Ducks found a way to take a lead into the ninth inning. They lost that lead, but still found a way to come back and win the game on the Dan Lyons bunt. So runner at first, one out here, and Phelan Lentini will now step up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the night. From the stretch, Thompson deals to the plate, and Lentini takes up high for ball one. Yankees are in action tonight at home against the Toronto Blue Jays. They have a 5-2 lead through 4 innings up in the Bronx. Hiroki Kuroda, the starter for the Yankees. Mark Burley for the Blue Jays. Jacoby Ellsbury hit his 16th home run of the season for New York as Lentini takes a breaking ball that just misses his left shoulder.
It's amazing what the Yankees have done against Mark Burley. Burley overall in his career 1-13 against the Yankees, so they got to him again tonight.
So the count is 2-0 here on Lentini. Thompson deals. Lentini swings, hits one high in the air to left center field. Drifting over to his left is Schwartz, and he'll make that catch. So both Lyons and Lentini hitting the ball hard here in this fifth inning, but hitting them where the outfielders can get to it. And with 2 outs, Cody Puckett. As for the Mets, they are in Atlanta tonight taking on the Braves. They're scoreless bottom half of the third inning. Mets going with Zach Wheeler, who is 10-10, and who last night tweeted a picture from the Thursday night football game at the Georgia Dome between the Falcons and the Buccaneers.
Oh, so Zach was there.
Yep, he was there. The Mets had gone down early, and with no game last night, Zach Wheeler checking out the Falcons game, which Atlanta won. Julio Teheran, the starter for the Braves tonight. First pitch here to Cody Puckett, breaking ball over the outside corner for strike one. Again, the Ducks trailing here 3-1 as we play in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Puckett 0 for 2 at this point with a pop-up to short and a fly out to left. Thompson gets the sign, delivers to the plate, and Puckett takes down low. That'll even up the count at 1-1. Cody with an 8-game hitting streak entering tonight's contest. Ran to the runner at first. He drew a walk to open the inning. And now the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball towards the middle. Stevens cannot get it. It's into center field for a base hit. And Cody Puckett has now extended his hitting streak to 9 straight games.
You know, Cody is within shouting distance of 100. If he really over the next couple of games, he could come very close. You know, that is the mark you want to achieve to get to that 300 level before the season runs out. But more importantly here, you got a couple of runners aboard and Lou Ford at the plate. The Ducks have set themselves up here in the bottom of inning 5.
So Lou Ford will get a chance here. 1 for 2 so far in the game with Miranda at second and Puckett at first. Thanks to Cody's single, each side now with 5 hits for the ball game. Thompson looks in for the sign. Now he comes set. And the first pitch on the way. Ford takes a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count goes to 1-0. Ford with an infield single in inning number 1. but ultimately was stranded at first, then led off the fourth and was struck out swinging. Thompson ready. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Ford can't catch up to that fastball once again. And the count now even.
As compared to Bob Zimmerman, who's very herky-jerky with his 6'4" frame and delivering to the plate, Darryl Thompson does what I think is normally called short-arming the ball. You can't really see that release point too well. Kind of just flips it to the plate, but gets a lot on it.
So here comes the 1-1. Kick, the pitch. Ford lines one down the right field line. Foul into the seats, right up onto the upper concourse. So Ford again was late on that fastball, and the count now 1-2.
Lou Ford at the top of every conceivable offensive category in a memorable season for the Long Island Ducks. And of course, leads the league in games played. He has played in every single one.
So it'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch here. First and second with 2 down. Thompson deals and Ford grounds one to the left side. Bobby Stevens throws towards third and just in time to get a sliding Sergio Miranda for the final out of the inning. So the Ducks strand another pair of runners on the 5 unassisted base. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on base, and we have played 5 here at Bethpage Ballpark. The Ducks won on News, Traffic, and Weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Duck fans, the difference at Huntington Honda and find Long Island's all-star lineup of over 1,200 new Hondas. Huntington to the plate to treat every customer with no pressure, respect, and Grand Slam service after the sale. Discover the difference and a winning buying experience at HuntingtonHondaCars.com, and then visit Huntington Honda, Jericho Turnpike, just east of Route 110.
So we head to the 6th inning as the Blue Crabs still hold a 3-1 lead over the Ducks, and Bob Zimmerman back to the mound for his 6th inning of work. Right-handers pitched well tonight, but it's just made one mistake back in the first inning. And the first pitch on the way is taken for a called strike. Count 0-1. The one mistake was a 3-run home run by the man at the plate right now, Jake Opitz, over the right field wall, his 16th of the year. And now the 0-1. It's swung on a tap here to second. Cody Puckett will gobble it up. Throws over to first for the out, and Opitz retired for out number 1.
Bob Zimmerman is zimming right along here at Bethpage Ballpark after that 3-run homer. As we said, just a couple of singles. 3 singles, 2 of them infield singles. He's kept the Blue Crabs off balance. Has not struck out a batter tonight, but not that many balls have been hit hard off Zim.
Yeah, he's not really much of a strikeout pitcher anymore, but to get the opponents to put the ball in play, and his defense has done a good job behind him as this pitch is in for a called strike. And so the count is 0-1 on Steve Moss, who is 0-2 with a grounder out to center. Now the 0-1. Moss swings, fouls this one off. And Moss behind in the count, 0-2.
I know I'm dating myself, but if you go back to the days of Jim Catfish Hunter, Oakland A's, New York Yankees, wasn't overpowering. He had his fair share of strikeouts, but Catfish Hunter, he just gets you out.
That's all you need to do if you're a pitcher. It doesn't matter whether you get the strikeouts, flyouts, any way you get them. As long as you get the outs, that's the most important thing, and that's what Zimmerman is doing here tonight. Trying to keep the Ducks in this game, but Long Island's offense has left 4 runners on over the last 2 innings and 5 for the game. And they remain behind by 2. The only run coming off the bat of C.J. Rutherford on the solo homer in the second. 0-2 to Moss, swinging a tapper foul again. 3 straight foul balls hit by Moss, who in the last series here was red hot against the Ducks. He was 6 of 11 at the plate over 3 games, drove in 5 runs, scored twice, and drew 4 walks in the series. Easily the best hitter on this Southern Maryland team during that 3-game sweep. And the 0-2 is swung and grounded to the left side. Dan Lyons on the backhand field. A long throw, dug out nicely at first by Joe Ashbrodine. Nice play on both ends, and that's the second out of the 6th inning.
Steve Moss, the former member of the Bridgeport Bluefish. And to bring up the Bluefish, it reminds me to congratulate my good friend, somebody I've kept in touch with for years, Adam Greenberg, who was inducted last weekend to the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, which is located at the Southern Y in Comac. Adam Greenberg, who had that pitch in the major league level back in 2005, I believe it was, when he was struck in the head, developed concussions after that and a host of problems, went to the Bridgeport Bluefish, and then last season got that one at-bat against the ball pitchers R.A. Dickey, the New York Mets, as he became a member of the Marlins and was given that second long-awaited at-bat.
1-0 is lined into center field. A base hit here for Ziegler, second hit of the game, and so the fans again denied breadsticks here in the 6th inning. Again, no matter which batter was the K-man, would be denied breadsticks tonight because Zimmerman does not have a strikeout. So that is the first hit of the 6th inning and the 6th for Southern Maryland. And of course, that ball that hit him in the head was thrown by Valerio de los Santos, who was at the time a member of the Marlins, came over to the Ducks during 2011, and in that 2011 season got to face opening night in Bridgeport, and Greenberg picked up a single in right field against him. So it was a pretty big deal that the two of them, who again had not faced each other since that unfortunate hit by pitch, got a chance to face each other here in the got some attention. First pitch to Mike Schwartz, high pop up in the air to right field towards the line. Long run for Phelan Lantini, still going over, and in foul ground he'll make the catch on the towering pop up from Schwartz. And that ends another scoreless inning for Zimmerman here in the 6th. He has tossed 5 straight scoreless innings after the 3-run first. But as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is still Southern Maryland leading the Ducks by a count of 3-1 here on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
For Long Island in the bottom of the 6th inning, 13, Adam Bailey, number 13.
To the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Blue Crabs leading the Ducks by 2, 3-1 the score. Michael Pollock alongside David Weiss. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Ducks. Adam Bailey to lead things off. And Darrell Thompson's first pitch to him hits the inside corner for strike 1. Bailey will be followed by Rutherford and Bance, who tonight have combined to go 3 for 5 at the plate with a walk and a solo home run. And now the 0-1 is tapped weakly here up the third base line. It is going to be touched foul by James Skelton. Really to race up the first base line just to make sure that if it did roll back fair, he would have the best shot at being safe. Count now 0-2.
Quick reminder, 2 more games in this finale of the series for the 2014 season. Tomorrow night, 7:05, Ducks and Blue Crabs, pyrotechnical fireworks extravaganza, the last one of the season, always popular, big crowd, so we welcome you to come out. And then on Sunday, this Sunday, with 80 degrees predicted, Ducks and Blue Crabs, 1:35 p.m., Fan Appreciation Day with all sorts of things for every fan that enters the park.
0-2 misses up and away for ball 1. They're going to be having the great gift card giveaway presented by Pepsi, which means every inning a lucky seat will be chosen. If that's your seat, you win a $100 gift card to a select restaurant on Long Island, so not a bad deal at all. Just for entering the ballpark. 1-2 misses low and outside for ball 2. It's also another Sunday Family Fun Day. Game autograph session. The post-game kids run the bases for the final time of 2014, and of course the last chance to see the Long Island Ducks play before the offseason.
As we said, the weather will be cooperative. Last full day of summer will feature summer-like weather.
Bailey grounds the 2-2 in a right center field. Past the try of the second baseman Jake Opitz, who was shaded over into the hole. So good piece of Bailey, who has another multi-hit game with 2 singles on the night.
Game being played at a very quick pace. It's been a pitcher's duel, despite the 3-run homer at the top of the first given up by Bob Zimmerman. He has shut the Blue Crabs down ever since. Ducks have just 1 run up on the board, a home run of their own from the guy at the plate right now.
42nd and multi-hit game of the year for Adam Bailey, who has been very good against Southern Maryland this year. Entering tonight, he was hitting .383 in 16 games against the Blue Crabs. 2 homers and 13 runs batted in. The 13 RBIs leading the Ducks this year. First pitch to C.J. Rutherford is a breaking ball way low and outside for ball 1. Mentioned earlier, Rutherford has driven in the only run of the island, a solo home run over the wall in left center right in front of the scoreboard. Inning, then he struck out swinging in the 4th. From the stretch, Thompson comes set. And the 1-0 swung on and missed. Hacked by Rutherford, but he was way out in front. The count even up at 1-1. Bailey with good speed over at first base. He will take his lead there, being held on by C.J. Ziegler. Thompson gets the sign from Skelton. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fastball just missed below the knees. Count now 2-1. Rutherford was 3 of 12 in the series against Lancaster, scored 3 times as well. Thompson comes set. And the 2-1 on the way. Is swung and grounded, a high chopper towards the shortstop hole. Fielded by Stevens, the long throw to first, not in time. Rutherford beat that out. Another base hit for the Ducks, their 7th of the game. And Long Island is set up with runners at first and second. And nobody out here in the 6th inning.
I guess in some places you would call that a Baltimore chop. Here you'd call it a central islip chop. That thing went sky high, hitting it basically off home plate. Looked like the kind of a Super Bowl bounce you get off artificial turf. There was no chance for Bobby Stevens to do much with that. And C.J. Rutherford beating it out easily. Adam Bailey was already at second base by the time that thing came down.
Yeah, that one just took such a high hop. I didn't even think Stevens was going to be able to get to it. Shows you his range to be able to get that ball in the hole. He made an attempt. No chance to get Rutherford. So now the corner infielders are in here in case Bance decides to lay down a bunt. Thompson stepped off the rubber. Bance this year has laid down just 1 sacrifice bunt. And tonight he's been on base both times he has come up to the plate. Ducks trail by 2. Pitch on the way. Bance does not square, and he takes a curveball over the outside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, Kevin Baez has been tricky as a skipper. Didn't put the bunt on the first pitch. He may put it on here. We've seen that before.
And Kevin Baez is also a manager who does not frequently sacrifice bunt. And with a guy like Bance at the plate who has a single and a walk tonight, might just let him swing away, especially with Brodeen on deck. Now the 0-1. That's ripped in the air to center field. Well hit. Racing back is Jermaine Mitchell. Still on the run. Reaches out, and he makes the catch in the end of his glove. Tagging from second is Bailey. He will go to third and stop right there. And a brilliant catch by Jermaine Mitchell in right center field to Rob Brand, an RBI and an extra base hit. And that is out number 1 in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you had Mitchell using all of his speed to track that one down. It was slicing away from him. Vance hit it to right center field. It just kept slicing away, but Mitchell was able to give it a catch. And it looked like a merry-go-round on the base paths. You had Adam Bailey tagging, while Rutherford had to streak back to first base not to get doubled off. So they were running in opposite directions, kind of a weird look on the base paths, but it worked out for the Ducks. Runners on the corners, 1 down.
First pitch to Brodeen is a fastball up and outside for ball 1. In a way, it did help a little bit production-wise, as it did get Bailey over to third, so a fly ball here from Brodeen can make it a 1.
And you got the infield playing back, looking to turn 2. They'll give up the run in exchange for 2 outs. Of course, he wouldn't give it up. It would end the inning.
Would end the inning.
That's right.
Low and outside for ball 2 here to Brodeen, who was struck at both the plate, one swinging in the second, one swinging in the fourth. So Thompson will try and get another strikeout here. Has dug himself into an early 2-0 count for Brodeen. Runners lead from the corners. And the pitch on the way is swung on and ripped in the air to center field. Again, well hit. This time Mitchell will have an easier time to line it up. He'll make the catch. Bailey will tag from third and come home to score. As the throw comes in to second base, it's a sac fly and RBI for Brodeen. And the Ducks are within 1 here in the 6th. It's 3-2.
Okay, the Ducks are hitting them hard and long. They're staying in the ballpark, but these flies to the outfield are chasing. The outfielders for Southern Maryland back to the warning track on several occasions. Brodeen getting more than enough out of that fly ball to center to bring in Adam Bailey, so it's now a 1-run deficit.
So with a runner at first and 2 away, here is Sergio Miranda to the plate, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch from Thompson, and Miranda hits one high in the air to left field towards the line. Long run for Schwartz as he races towards the line. Out, can't make the catch, it lands foul. And Schwartz took a tumble there down the line right near the facing of the stands.
Yeah.
Gets back up, he seems okay as the ball went into the seats. And they count 0-1.
He went all out to try to get that one. Looked like he almost got his mitt on it. Hit on the dirt and then bounced into the stands. And Schwartz went smacking into that wall and the fence area. Patio section that juts out down the left field line. So fortunately, Schwartz okay.
That RBI for Brodeen was his 59th of the year, 6th sacrifice. So he was able to get the job done in terms of bringing a runner home. And again, even though Bance was retired, it was a productive play because it helped lead to that run. So Long Island is now within 1. And it'll be an 0-1 here from Thompson to kick and the pitch. And Miranda swings and fouls this one off to the third base side. And he's now in an 0-2 hole.
Miranda's had a couple of good cuts. Now he'll shorten up a bit with an 0-2 for the Ducks. Now trail it by 1, tying runners aboard. And still plenty of time left, just in the bottom of the 6th.
Consistently been getting runners on against Thompson. Only the third, the only inning without a base runner, as Miranda grounds it foul into the Ducks dugout this time. And along the first base line, the third inning, the Ducks went in order. Every other inning, they have had at least 1 hit. The Ducks have 7 hits total in the game. They lead by 1 in the hit column, but trail by 1 in the runs column. So we'll have another 0-2 here from Thompson to Miranda. Ready, kicks and fires, and Miranda takes low and outside. Good plate discipline there from the Ducks third baseman, count 1-2. Rutherford, the runner at first. He picked up an infield single to short, does not have the best speed. So to try and drive him in, you would need to hit one deep into the gaps or down the line. Here comes a 1-2. Thompson kicks and fires, and Miranda swings, pops it up foul again to the third base side. Well out of play, and no movement in the count.
Of course, Rutherford was running with the proverbial quack of the bat with 2 down. It gives him a bit of a jump if it is hit in the gap.
Miranda digs back in at the plate. Rutherford takes his lead, being held on. 1-2 is foul up the first baseline off the facing of the camera well. Good at bat here for Sergio Miranda. Next pitch will be the seventh pitch of this at bat. And he has done a great job fouling off a lot of tough pitches here from the Blue Crabs right-hander who's trying to make it through 6 innings with the lead.
Well, we have our pitch count on Mr. Thompson.
We do, and I will tell you that right now. It is 90 pitches, 54 for strikes. Another 1-2, and Miranda swings, fouls this one off again. Third base side out of play.
Kind of a hack at that one. That might have been up high, but got a guard against. A third strike with count 1-2. Miranda really hanging tough here.
Good at bat here for the Ducks third baseman and 8-hitter, trying to keep this 6th inning alive. Thompson deals again. Miranda fouls this one off. Screen behind the plate just off to the third base side. 8 pitches now in this at bat, 7 of which have been fouled off by Miranda. A very expensive at bat. Yeah,
that's very reminiscent of another left-handed hitter of the Red Sox and Yankees. Wade Boggs could do that all day. Remember, he'd foul them off one after another.
Rutherford continues to lead at first. The pitch, and Miranda takes a fastball upstairs. And it's now working count to 2-2.
Sooner or later, frustration starts to set in on the mound. And a mistake could be made.
Pitch number 10 of this at-bat on the way from Thompson. And Miranda will swing and line one in the air to center field. Drifting back is Jermaine Mitchell. He will make the catch. And it is Thompson who ends up winning the battle with Miranda as he gets him the line out to center for the final out of the 6th inning. Ducks, though, get a run on the scoreboard. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. They leave 1. We have played 6 innings here at the Duck Pond. Tonight it is now the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 2 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, on a chilly night like this, why not warm up with a hot cup of Hampton Coffee Company gourmet coffee available right now at the concession stands here at Bethpage Ballpark. Regular and decaf Hampton Coffee is the preferred coffee of the Long Island Ducks. Visit HamptonCoffeeCompany.com or visit their cafes out in the Hamptons. Bob Zimmerman goes back to the mound here to begin his 7th inning of work. Through the first 6 innings, he's thrown 88 pitches, 58 of them for strikes, and has allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, has not struck out a batter, has walked 2. But he has thrown 5 straight scoreless innings after allowing the 3-run home run in the first inning to Jake Opitz, and has allowed just 4 hits over those 5 innings, 2 of which have stayed on the infield. So Zimmerman has been strong tonight, is 1 out away from its longest outing of the season. And his first pitch on the way is a fastball taken inside for ball 1 by Angel Chavez, the 8-hitter and third baseman batting from the right side. Here comes the 1-0 from Zimmerman. And Chavez swings, grounds it back towards the middle. Dan Lyons dives, he can't get it. It's in his center field, a base hit. Lyons had him shaded over more towards third base, so a long way for Lyons to go, couldn't get there. And Chavez has the 7th hit of the game for Southern Maryland, a leadoff base hit to 7th inning. So that'll bring up the 9-hitter and catcher James Skelton to the plate. Skelton, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. Hitter, not a switch hitter. Throws right-handed, but he bats left-handed, and he's 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Zimmerman will have to work out of the stretch. And now with this being a 1-run game, Sergio has at third to guard against the bunt. First pitch, he does not square, and he strike over the outside corner, 0-1. Skelton popped to short to end the second inning and then drew a leadoff walk in the fifth and was eventually caught stealing for the fifth time. So he's now 15 of 20 in the stolen base department, combined between the Blue Crabs and the Barnstormers. Where's the bunt this time? Pops it towards third. It's on the ground. Miranda fields it. Start first is in time. No chance for him to catch it in the air, so it ends up being a successful sacrifice bunt for Skelton. 5-3 on the putout, and down to second goes Chavez.
Yeah, it was a little pop-up in the air, taken on one hop by Miranda. He had no chance to look at second base to get the force on Chavez, so it works. And with a 1-1 lead, skipper Lance Burkhart looking for a little insurance as we get to the latter innings of this game. So runner in scoring position with one down and back to the top of the order.
That is the 6th sacrifice bunt of the year for Skelton. Chavez will take his lead at second with one away as the Blue Crabs trying to get their 2-run lead back. Zimmerman from the stretch deals, and Stevens takes outside for ball one. The Blue Crab shortstop tonight is 1 for 2 at the plate with a walk and a run scored. Those last two came in the first inning. He also stole a base. Infield single to second in the third, and then a ground out to second in the fifth. Brody off the bag at first, and the 1-0 is taken for a ball two from Zimmerman.
And what about Zim's pitch count there, Mr. Pollack?
Well, like I said at the beginning of the inning, he was at 88, now at 94 pitches, 61 of them for strikes.
I was otherwise indisposed, so I'm...
No problem at all. So Sim getting close to 100 pitches here, and the 2-0 upcoming. Kicks, fires, and Stevens this time takes a strike on the inside corner. Again, this is now Zimmerman's longest outing of the season. His previous long was in Game 2 of a doubleheader on July 27th in Bridgeport. Started that day when 6 innings of 5-hit, 1-run ball, did not walk or strike out a batter. Ducks ended up losing that game 3-2 in extra innings. 2-1 to Stevens, popped up foul, first base side, back into the crowd. And that'll even up the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And we mentioned win, and the irony, of course, that was the 4th consecutive win against the Skeeters that brought the Ducks within a half game of Somerset, and things haven't been the same since. The Ducks have lost 10 of 12 since.
Their 8th straight win, and the 2-2 is lined in the left field. Adam Bailey moving in, and to his left will make the running catch. Back to second goes Chavez, so a big out there for Zimmerman as he retires Stevens for the second time in a row. No movement of the runner, and now with 2 out in the inning, that'll leave it up to the center fielder, Jermaine Mitchell.
You just can't say enough about what Zimmerman has done since surrendering. 3-run homer in the top of the first. It could have been a really lopsided game. It could have shaken him up right off the bat, pun intended. But he has really settled down and shut down Southern Maryland completely ever since.
We've seen it a couple times this year where one bad pitch has hurt a Ducks starter, and right now Zimmerman with that one pitch in the first inning, Ducks have not been able to take the lead or at least tie the game yet. First pitch to Mitchell's pop foul, third base side out of play, and Zimmerman can only hope that he can get out of trouble here and that the Ducks offense can pick him up and at least tie up the ball. Zimmerman, it's tough for a starting pitcher to pitch well in a game and not, especially when you know you make only one mistake. Now the 0-1. Mitchell swings, grounds this towards second. Cody Puckett, and his throw to first is in time for the out. And again, Zimmerman works into a little bit of trouble, but ultimately no runs. 6 straight innings and 1 left for the Blue Crabs. Stretch here at Bethpage Ballpark on this Friday night. Ducks trail the Blue Crabs by 1. It's 3-2 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. LI News Radio.
Well, here at Bethpage Ballpark, this is the kind of night when you really want to warm up with a hot cup of Hampton Coffee Company gourmet coffee, available right now at the concession stands here at Bethpage Ballpark. Regular and decaf, Hampton Coffee, the preferred coffee of the Long Island Ducks, at hamptoncoffeecompany.com, or you can actually visit their cafes out in the beautiful Hamptons, which aren't as crowded as they during the summer months, although this is still technically summer. But tonight, a nip in the air to be sure, and a good one here at Bethpage Ballpark. Ducks trailing 3-2, bottom of inning 7.
A little bit on the chilly side here. Not really a night you'd want to go out and hang out on the beach, but good game we've got going on here as the first pitch to Dan Lyons. He squared to bunt and then pulled back and took the call to strike. And the count goes to 0-1. Lyons in this game 0 for 2. He has popped to second and fly to right. Darrell Thompson back out for his 7th inning of work. Has been running into some trouble the last 3 innings. But ultimately, he's allowed just 1 run. And here Lyons takes low and outside for ball 1. Gave up a hit and a walk in the 4th. He gave up a hit and a walk in the 5th. And gave up 2 hits and a sac fly in the 6th. Count the only run of those 3 innings as Lyons pops one up in the air to the right side again. This time to second baseman opens on the outfield scratch. So Lyons now 0 for 3 with 3 pop-ups to the right side, and that is out number 1.
I was giving this some thought the other day, talking to some Long Island Duck fans about this. This, of course, the 2014 season, the first season that features neither Justin Davies or Ray Navarrete. And we were thinking, who is the next Mr. Long Island Duck? You know, Dan Lyons, his 4th season with the Ducks, and he could be that next year-to-year Duck. He has been such a familiar face and has done so much for the Ducks on and off the field for so many years. Maybe he's the next one.
Well, Lyons in forward. He's big fan favorites as the first pitch is taken for a called strike in the count 0-1. Those two always seem to get the loudest ovations here when their names introduced for the lineup or at the beginning of the season for the championship ring and banner raising ceremony. And the 0-1 is in for a called strike on the inside corner to Lentini, who is now behind 0. Of course, Ford is the longest active tenured player on the roster with 5 seasons with the Ducks, although Lyons has played 4 seasons, all of them full, unlike Ford, as Lentini grounds one foul along the third base line out of the reach of Chavez.
And you look at Dan Lyons' age, he just turned 30 this past August 21st, so conceivably there could be many more seasons to come for Dan Lyons in a Ducks uniform.
Although I'll tell you what, with the way Ford is hitting here in this league, can't say that he's done playing yet.
No.
Not at all, and he's got a good role for him right now as a coach.
Well into his 30s, but still a lot left in that tank.
0-2, breaking ball, not missed inside. Lentini is fly to center, line to third, and fly to left in his 3 at-bats tonight. Bases empty, 1 out. Each team with 7 hits, and the Ducks trailing 3-2.
Yep. Lou Ford turned 38 this past August 12th. We're playing like he's 28.
1-2 is a high fly ball in the air to left field. Schwartz drifting back but has room. He'll make the catch. For the second time tonight, Lentini hits the ball well, but stays in the yard, and that is out number 2 here in the 7th.
I can't talk about of atmospheric measurements, but there's got to be a reason why the ball seemed to be traveling so well earlier in the game, and now you get these fly balls that seem to just die in the outfield here in the latter part of the game.
Well, it is getting colder as the game is. It's a very dry night, not humid at all, and so when it's not very humid, the ball tends to travel a little bit better in the air, and we've seen a lot of well-hit balls tonight, but if it was a bit warmer, those balls might be going out. If it was a little bit more windy with the wind blowing out, might be out.
No wind at all.
But no wind tonight as Cody Puckett takes up and inside for ball 1, extended his hitting streak to 9 consecutive games last time up. That was in the 5th with a base hit up the middle. Before that, he has flied to left and popped to short. 1-0. Ripped in a left field. That'll be a base hit for Puckett. And he's got a multi-hit game. The Ducks with runners, with a runner at first and 2 down for Lou Ford.
Yeah, Cody creeping closer to that 300 mark in terms of average, but most important.
So Puckett at first base with 2 down. He's got great speed, and for now his 4th multi-hit game in his last 5 games and his 5th in his. So he is getting lots of multiple hit games of late, and again, doing whatever he can to get close to that 300 average, or at least as close as possible. So with 2 down, here is Ford to the plate, looking for his 2nd hit of the night. The multi-hit king right now for the Ducks, and he takes outside and low on a fastball for ball 1. Thompson to this point, 105 pitches, 64 for strikes. So this very well could be his final inning tonight. And he's trying to get through it with his team still in front. 1-0. Puckett leads at first. The pitch to Ford is swung on and missed. Another good fastball down low in the zone. The count is even up at 1-1.
Well, with all the categories where Lou Ford is at or near the top, let's just pick one at random here. Total bases. Lou Ford on the season, 271 total bases. Second only, probably his biggest competitor for league MVP, Cole Garner of Lancaster, who has 285 going into tonight's game.
Garner with the league lead in home. Ford takes low for a ball. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
So leads the league in hits. A product of the fact.
It'll be a 2-1 here from Thompson to Ford. Puckett leads at first, and Ford swings and misses. Oh, what a breaking ball from Thompson. Started up in the zone, and that's about where Ford swung at it. The bottom just dropped right out of it. And the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson 1 strike away. Getting through the 7th and keeping the Blue Crabs in front by 1.
Dangerous as Lou is, I don't think Darryl Thompson, one of his favorite pitchers, he's tonight.
So here comes the 2-2, and Ford swings, fouls this one back to the screen.
Man, that was right in our lap, but the screen wasn't there, and Lou just missed it. He had it really lined up, but just swung under it and fouled it right back.
He was expecting fastball, and he got a fastball up and in, but just missed, hitting it down the left field line. So now the count is even at 2-2. And the 6th pitch of the at-bat upcoming from Thompson. Gets the sign from Skelton. Kicks and fires to the plate and breaks his bat, grounds it to third, right there. He'll go the short way to second for the force. And that'll land the inning. So Puckett with a 2-out single. For the Ducks, no runs, a hit, 1 left. We have played 7. Blue Crabs 3, Ducks 2 on Long Island Home for news, traffic, and weather. Can add another here. Dave, you got that? All right.
Cross the log on the Ducks.
As we go to the 8th inning, Kevin Bias has made his first call to the bullpen of the night after a strong start from right-hander Bob Zimmerman, and he calls on the left-hander Tommy Organ to pitch. Organ replaces the right-hander Bob Zimmerman, trailing 3-2. He pitched well, though, gave up a 3-run home run in the first to Jake Opitz, his only mistake of the night. After that point, allowed just 5 singles, and ultimately walked 2 batters for the game, 7 hits, no strikeouts, 1 home run, 99 pitches, 66 of them for strikes. A strong start as Zimmerman continues his success on the mound. But now he will turn things over to the left-hander Tommy Organ, and Organ will face the heart of the order for Southern Maryland, Hankard, Opitz, and Moss.
Hankard is 1 for 3 here tonight. Can bat base hit to right back in the first inning and would on a 3-run homer from the guy in the on-deck circle, Jake Opitz. And this left side, taken by Dan Lyons, and throw across to Joe One pitch, one out here in the 8th.
A good start for the left-hander Oregon, who really has done a great job since coming over to Long Island in the trade for John Myers. 18 games, 1.62 ERA. He's given up a run in only one of his 18 appearances. That was August 24th against Somerset. Walked only 3 back strikeouts, and he has been a pleasant surprise in this his first season of professional baseball and doing very well here in the Atlantic League.
Yeah, you really like those eye-popping numbers. 16 3 walks, better than a 5-to-1 ratio, and the ERA of just over 1.5. Opitz at the plate now. That 3-run homer in the first inning is flied out and grounded out since. And the pitch from pitcher to lefty batter is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Opitz, again, the fly out and ground out. Following that 3-run homer in the first inning to right field. Pitching from the stretch, as most relievers do. Oregon's pitch to Opitz downstairs. And falling behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Steve Moss is waiting on deck. It's the top of the 8th. Bethpage Ballpark. 3-2 between the Blue Crabs, who still are clinging to some playoff hopes, and the Long Island Ducks, who were eliminated a couple of nights back. 2-0 pitch on the way to Opitz is high and away. 3-0 now to Jake, as Tommy Oregon, being a little careful, had good power, but was way high. And now falling behind, 3 balls and no strikes.
Blue Crabs no longer receiving help from the River Sharks in Lancaster. Barnstormers with a 7-run bottom of the 5th. They now lead it 8-2 over the River Sharks.
And Oregon's 3-0 is inside corner, strike, 3-1.
Nick DeBar fell apart in that 5th inning. Wilson Batista's driven in 2. Brett Carroll had a grand slam for Lancaster. So the Barnstormers doing what they can, an inch closer to the playoffs. They lead it 8-2.
3-1 on the way. Oregon to Opitz, who swings and misses. Good slider. Landed out of the strike zone. Opitz couldn't reach that one, and the count now full at 3-2.
Solution remains scoreless, top of the 4th down in Sugarland, Texas. Corey Thurman, the starter for the Revs, and Steve Hammond, the starter for the Cedars. Good pitching matchup.
So count full here with 1 down, nobody on. Jake Opitz at the plate, and the payoff pitch from Tommy Oregon. Swing and a miss. Coming back from 3-0, Tommy Oregon strikes out Opitz. Incredibly enough, that is the first strikeout registered tonight by Long Island Ducks pitching, and it came on the second batter faced by Oregon.
Oh, Oregon is doing a very good job of making a case for being brought back by this Ducks team next season. I mean, he very strong on the mound, both against lefties and righties.
And the first pitch on the way to Steve Moss. Slices across the outside corner. 0-1. Moss has bounced out, flied out, and bounced out. He would be 2 for 3 if not for Dan Lyons. And Joash Brodeen and a nice scoop at first base. And Moss hits it in the air, left field, coming in no problem, and makes the catch. And quickly, bottom of the 8th here at Bethpage Ballpark, where the score remains. Southern Maryland 3, Long Island Ducks 2 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
Another. Okay. Blue Crabs hold a 3-2 lead over the Ducks as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning here at Bethpage. Southern Maryland has made a call to their bullpen after Darrell Thompson threw 7 innings of 2-run ball. And they call on the right-hander Justin Berg here in the 8th. Berg typically the closer for this Blue Crabs team, so we'll see if he tries to go for a 6-out save here in the 1-run game. But Darrell Thompson did a fine job tonight, and Berg now takes over, who has 6 saves on the year. There's also a defensive change for the Blue Crabs as Jesus has gone into the game and replaced Kyle Hankard in right. And I don't know if that is just a defensive switch for better defense or if something is wrong with Hankard. But Anta de Jesus takes over in the 3 spot in the order and goes out to right field here in the bottom half of inning number 8.
Justin Berg with an ERA of 3.09, a 1-loss record of 2-2, making his 25th appearance, all in relief. 23rd and a third innings pitched, 25 hits, 19 strikeouts, 10 walks, 8 earned runs given up. Those are the numbers. Strike over on Adam Bailey. It's 0-1 to Adam, who is 2 for 3. A couple of singles, also fly to center. Also scored a run on a sacrifice fly from Brandon Batts back in inning number 6. 0-2, Adam Bailey in the hole. C.J. Rutherford on deck to be followed by Brandon Batts. Numbers 4, 5, and 6, middle of the order against reliever Justin Berg. Darrell Thompson giving up 2 runs, 8 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. Good outing for Darrell Thompson. Had the Ducks off balance at times and hit it hard at other times. Southern Maryland fielders as Adam Bailey swings and misses and strikes out. So a nice start by Justin Berg here in the bottom of the 8th.
Thompson ended up throwing 110 pitches total, 68 of them for strikes, and is in line to improve to a game over 500 on the season. 7-6 if he can get the win. The Ducks certainly want to try and find a way to come back in this game to take the opener of the series. Town score in the Atlantic League. Bluefish hold a 2-0 lead over the Patriots. Bottom of the 8th inning. In Bluefish, Roy Merritt started for the Patriots. Jason Lowy is now in.
C.J. Rutherford at the plate. He is 2 for 3. That solo home run in inning number 2, leading off the 2nd inning. He has struck out. Infield hit to the left side. 0-1 the count. And the pitch from Berg missing outside, 1-1.
As for the Major League scoreboard, Yankees and the Blue Jays up. Yankees ahead bottom of the 7th inning. Hiroki Kuroda started for the Yankees. Esmil Rogers. Mark Burley, the starter for the Blue Jays. Todd Redmond has since taken over.
Pitch to C.J. Rutherford, low and away, 2-1.
Jacoby Ellsbury, 16th home run for the Yankees. Edwin Encarnacion, his 33rd for Toronto.
2-1 count to C.J. Rutherford at the plate. Ducks trail by 1. Bottom of the 8th. And the pitch, there's a tapper towards short. Going to be a tough play by Bobby Stevens. Has to barehand it and throws it away. Backing up is the catcher, James Skelton. But the ball dribbled into the Ducks dugout. Getting past the fencing and on to second base. The error charged to the shortstop, Bobby Stevens, whose throw was errant. And in scoring position is C.J. Rutherford. So I believe that'll go down as an infield hit. No, just an error all the way. All right.
Straight error. C.J. Rutherford doesn't run all that well up the first baseline. It wasn't the easiest of plays. Stevens, I think, made it actually a little bit tougher on himself having to barehand that ball. If he got it cleanly and threw over to first without having to barehand it, I think he would have been able to make that play. But he tried to rush it a little, running, barehanded it, and threw over to first. And it almost was an error on Ziegler. It looked like that hit him in the glove, and I thought he was going to be able to make the catch, but it must have just hit off the end of his glove.
Well, the bottom line, a 2-base error. Rutherford in scoring position, and Brandon Batts showing bunt. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. He's able to play. There's 1 down. So I'm not sure why Batts would be bunting there. In any case, is 1 for 2 with a walk. A single up the middle in the second inning. Fly to deep right center field in the sixth. Great running catch by Jermaine Mitchell. Chance of at least 2 bases. And sandwiched between those 2 at-bats, a walk in the fourth. So 1 for 2. 1 the count. The Panthers. Rutherford in scoring position with 1 down at second base after the 2-base error on the throw from Bobby Stevens to shortstop. Pitch from Berg is down low, and Bance now out in front at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes.
A good hitter's count here for Bance again. The Ducks trying to take advantage of a defensive miscue there from the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland has been solid defensively throughout the night. They were solid defensively last week, but a big error there by Stevens, who again appeared to rush that play, and we'll see if Bance find a way to bring Rutherford home from second.
Rutherford, not the fastest of Long Island Ducks. See what happens here. Pitch to Bance, downstairs, 3 balls and no strikes to Brandon Bance. The dangerous Joash Brodeen. Next are the Ducks with 1 down here. Tying run across. It's late, bottom of the 8th at Bethpage Ballpark.
Bance has hit the ball hard twice, and he's also drawn a walk, so Berg may be pitching around him a little bit here with first base open. Of course, you don't want to put the go-ahead, but with Brodeen 0 for 2 in the game, might rather face him than Bance.
3-0 pitch on the way to Brandon. He's not swinging, and it misses outside. A 4-pitch walk. And that is another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. As I was able to say that in unison with public address announcer Bob Atone. And we've got a trip to the mound, a summit meeting. Everybody congregating now. The entire meeting on the mound now that we have first and second with only 1 down. The Ducks not only have the tying run aboard, but the go-ahead run aboard.
I think the key here is going to be discussing whether or not the Ducks may end up trying to put down a sacrifice bunt again. There is 1 out in the inning, so that's why I don't think you do it at this point. It would move the tying run to third, the go-ahead run to second, but then you have Sergio Miranda after him. So again, I don't think that would be the strategy here, but maybe just going over things just in case. He might try to lay down 1 late. Some approach to Brodeen, who last time uplifted a sacrifice fly fairly deep to center.
Not sure why there was a meeting on the mound there, but you wouldn't think with Rutherford and Bance, 2 of the Ducks that you wouldn't expect to be put in motion for a double steal. You're going to let Brodeen just do his business here at the plate.
So here is Brodeen, switch it around.
Against the right-hander, Justin Berg. 2 runners on, just 1 out. Brodeen takes a strike, outside corner, 0-1. Joash is, as Mike mentioned, 0 for 2. He struck out twice and a sack in the 6th inning. That reduced the deficit to 1. It's where we are now, 3-2, Southern Maryland on top. Long look at second base, and the 0-1 is a swing and a tapper foul off the plate. And the count now 0-2 to Joash Brodeen. Now what?
The home plate umpire here, Derek Moshe, was signaling a fair ball, but the third and the first base umpires ruled a foul ball, and that was a clear as day foul ball.
Absolutely.
It got off the leg of Brodeen, and home plate umpire Derek Moshe must not have seen it. And he was letting that play continue, and the Blue Crabs followed it through to try and get the inning-ending double play. But Moshe ended up getting overruled by John Torres, the third base, run to the first base umpire.
I was about as confused as Brodeen was standing at the plate. So 2 runners on, 1 out. Ducks trail by 1. And the pitch on the way from Berg to Brodeen. And a ground ball to the right side, but foul. So we'll do it all. Count remains 0-2.
Brodeen with that sac fly, his 59th run batted in of the season, and trying to find a way here against Justin Berg to get a good pitch to hit. Doesn't help that he has fallen behind, nothing in 2 in the count, but he's got to stay disciplined at the plate here. Just out of the zone.
Coming set is Berg. Again, taking his time on the mound. A long look at second base. Rutherford, and the pitch to Joash. A line drive into the mid of Jake Opitz, and he throws to first to double off. Brandon Batts. As quickly as that, the Ducks rally is snuffed out. Brodeen with a line drive to Opitz at second base. He quickly flipped it to Ziegler at first, doubling off Brandon Batts, who was no more than 5 feet off of the first base bag. So tough luck for the Ducks, who double play their way out of a potential game-tying rally. In the inning, no hits, a walk, but with the double play, nobody left. We have finished 8 at Bethpage Ballpark, and the score remains the Blue Crabs 3, the Ducks 2 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 News Radio.
Can I have one more here? Hey Ducks fans, you want frequent updates on team transactions, scores, store specials, and the status of upcoming games? Then follow the Long Island Ducks on Twitter at twitter.com/LI. The faithful flock will be able to follow their Ducks and find out more information regarding nightly promotions, player signings, league activities, and more. The Ducks are tweeting right now, and you can follow along at twitter.com/LI Ducks. New pitcher is the right-hander Brett Lauren. Takes over in the ninth with the Ducks down by 1, and he'll face Ziegler, Schwartz, and Chavez, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Blue Crabs.
Brett Lauren with his 52nd appearance for the Ducks, all in relief, and the pitch is fouled out of play to the right side. No balls and a strike, who is 2 for 3. He's fly and singled twice, and he is that designated batter here tonight, who, if the Ducks strike him out, it means breadsticks at Pizza Hut. He is the Pizza Hut King Man of the evening. 0-1 pitch on the way, a little inside. It's 1 ball. Brett Lauren on the season with an ERA of 2.52, 1 loss record of 3-4, 50 innings pitched, 50 hits surrendered, 14 earned runs. Next pitch is a slider, low and away and skips away from catcher Brandon Batts. It's 2 balls and a strike. 34 strikeouts, 18 walks coming into this appearance for big Brett Lauren. 6'7" right-hander on the mound for the Long Island Ducks. 2-1 pitch on the way to Ziegler is smashed. Left field, you can forget about it. That one left the park quickly, clearing the King Cullen sign and everything else. Spill, aisle 7. Time to clean it up for 2 Crabs.
Well, that was a pitch out over the plate, and C.J. Ziegler has hit the long ball well this year. That was his 15th home run. Caps a 3 for 4 night if this game does not go extras, or if the Blue Crabs do not have a big rally this inning to give him another at bat. And he has been a big force in the Southern Maryland lineup tonight. Now he picks home run of the game for the Blue Crabs.
Guess you could forget about the breadsticks. Brett Lauren pitching to Mike Schwartz, who's 0 for 3 here tonight. 0-1 the count to Schwartz. Good fastball from Lauren. Boy, that one left the park very quickly. Not even a courtesy. He hardly had to turn around in left field. Never moved. 1-1 the count to Schwartz, who has bounced out twice and fouled out down the right field line. Caught by Faye Lantini. Schwartz batting for the left side against the righty Lauren. Next pitch is slam foul, left field, into the stands, second section. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Schwartz.
Blue Crabs have not been a kind team to Lauren this year. This is Lauren's 8th appearance against Southern Maryland, with a 4.91 ERA entering tonight, and had allowed 3 runs in back-to-back appearances last week against Southern Maryland.
Next pitch inside, ends up all the way at the netting in the back, and 2 strikes to Schwartz.
He needs to try and find a way to get out of this inning without allowing anything further. 2-run lead already seems daunting after it was a 1-run lead entering the inning, and Lauren needs to find a way to avoid further trouble and give the Ducks a chance in the bottom of the 9th.
Lauren kicks and deals the 2-2, fouled out of play left field. James, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ducks pitching staff had thrown 7 scoreless innings before that home run after the 3-run first. Again, it's only been 2 mistakes tonight for the Ducks pitching, the Ziegler homer and the Opitz 3-run homer.
Yep, a home run in the first inning and a homer here in the 9th. 2-2 pitch on the way. Schwartz is downstairs. And the count now full at 3 strikes. Angel Chavez, the 8th man of the order, waiting on deck. So Ducks will have to dig a little deeper in the bottom of the 9th. They want to come back in this one. And there's a ground ball to the right side. Backhanded by Joash Brodeen. He will race to the bag himself, unassisted. In time, Schwartz is retired.
For tonight, Lauren's last appearance was on Wednesday evening. He picked up the win in relief, tossed a scoreless 9th inning, allowed just 1 hit to cap off a night where the bullpen tossed 4 scoreless innings in relief of Jared Lansford. The Ducks ended up winning it in waddle-off fashion in the bottom of the 9th on the Brendan Harris double to left that scored Dan Lyons. Again, the Ducks will have to try and find a way to waddle off again in the bottom of the 9th, or at least tie the game to force extras.
And there's a ground ball up the back. Chavez going to his right to get it is Cody Puckett, and the lob throw over to Green is in time, 2 down.
Chavez 1 for 4 on the evening, and a nice job by Lauren there to get back-to-back groundouts after allowing the leadoff home run.
That'll bring up the 9th man of the order, catcher James Skelton, who was 0 for 2 with a walk and was thrown out trying to steal in the 5th inning as well. How old do you have to be to recognize the name Red Skelton? Now, I don't know if there's any relation, but do you have any idea who Red Skelton is?
Not a clue.
Oh, man. That makes me feel old.
Sorry.
Oh, gosh. Skelton is in there for a strike. 0-1. A comic legend who once had his own variety show. Red Skelton was a star of stage and screen. Starred in a number of comedic movies in the 1940s and 50s. And had his own variety show in the 60s into, I think, the early 70s. He was never my cup of tea as far as a comedian, but just the fact I can mention him with James Skelton at the plate, not knowing if there's a relation here, but it's still depressing and makes me feel much older. 0-2 to count. Yeah. What was that?
Way before my lifetime.
You're not kidding. 0-2 pitches it on the ground, and once again an unassisted putout for Joash Brodeen at first base. So after the leadoff home run of the 9th off the bat of C.J. Ziegler, Schwartz, Chavez, and Skelton all ground out, and that is it for the Blue Crabs. 1 run, 1 hit. Nobody left at the end of 8. Go to the bottom of the 9th at Bethpage Ballpark, see if the Ducks can tie it or bring us a waddle-off win. The score, Blue Crabs 4, Ducks 2 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Well, Jorge Marbon is the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Ducks now trail 4-2 to Southern Maryland. Marbon comes in and has pitched 8 scoreless appearances since Blue Crabs from Florence, another independent team in professional baseball. And Marbon with 6 2/3 innings of 5-hit shutout baseball, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts to this point. He has 1 save. He's going for number 2 here tonight. For the Ducks, it'll be their 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up to the plate. Sergio Miranda, Dan Lyons, and then Phelan Lentini are set to bat here in the 9th inning.
So the Ducks will have to rally here. It was a 1-run game. Ducks had climbed back to within 1 with a run in the 6th inning, but you've got home run for the Blue Crabs here tonight. 3-run shot off the bat of Jake Opitz in the 1st inning of play. And then in the 9th inning, C.J. Ziegler with a smash to left. And there you have your 4 runs up on the board for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Ducks have scratched 2 across, but now need at least 2 to extend it. Sergio Miranda batting from the left side against the righty, who misses way inside. Miranda, it's 1 ball and no strikes.
And Ducks have a couple of bats on their bench if they so choose. Bill Hall and Brendan Harris both from are available, and the switch hitter Vasquez.
Pitch to Miranda is inside. Once again, 2 balls and no strikes to Sergio. Miranda will be looking to get on any way he can, because if he does, that brings the tying run to the plate. Want to do when trailing in the bottom of the 9th. 2-0 pitch is on the way, and that splits the plate in half, 2-1.
And if Miranda does get on, then you could potentially see maybe a guy like Hall, who does have home run power. Harris has a bit too, potentially coming to the plate to try and tie with 1 swing.
2-1 pitch on the way from Marbon. Miranda fouls it out of plate left side. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's why that insurance run becomes so big. If Miranda had gotten on, you got Dan Lyons, one of the best bunters in the league, in a position where you can try to advance Miranda into scoring position. But now that's taken out of the equation, trailing by 2. 2-2 pitch on the way. Downstairs, count full, 3-2.
I thought initially that would send Harris up to the plate as the pinch hitter for Miranda and straight switch at third if the Ducks are able to go back defensively. And Harris does have a great eye, a tendency to draw walks, but Miranda's worked the count full here. We'll see if he can get on.
Coming set, Marbon. And the payoff pitch to Miranda, well inside, and Sergio does his job. He is aboard. Leadoff Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins.
And now we're going to get the pinch hitter here as Bill Hall walks out into the on-deck circle, as we thought, with a chance to tie the game with 1 swing. Bill Hall, who has 4 home runs on the year, is going to get a chance to pinch hit for Lyons and come up with Miranda at first base.
And if you're asking who might replace Dan Lyons at short, first things first, you've got to force extra innings before you get to that part of this. So Bill Hall at the plate, pinch hitting for Dan Lyons. Hall at .241, 4 homers, 19 RBIs. Yes, he does have home run power. And he's got that patented wide open stance at the plate. He'll be staring directly at Bond. Come in to close it here for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 9th. Ducks trailing 4-2, but the tying run in the 4th. Hall at the plate. Miranda takes the lead. Pitch to Hall, right down Carlton Avenue for a strike, 0-1.
Big thing for Hall, plate discipline here. He has a tendency sometimes to chase pitches down and away. You have plate discipline. This is a big at bat right here. If he gets on base, then you could have 2 on with nobody out. Lentini can sacrifice them over, and then you have Puckett, who has 2 hits coming up after him.
Marbon, the 0-1 pitch to Hall is way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the leadoff walk to Sergio Miranda. And a ball well outside, following one right down the middle.
Oh, it looked like it shook up catcher James Skelton a bit. Kind of a hard fastball or a hard slider tailing down and away. It was yanked by the pitcher Marbon, and try and go to his right and block it. And part of going down and to the right is getting down kind of and splitting on your knees. That one took a bounce and caught him kind of right in the midsection there, so might have gotten the wind knocked out of him a bit. No visit, though, from trainer Mia Del Hierro.
Tonight here at Bethpage Ballpark, about 2.5 hours into this one, bottom of the ninth. Nobody out, one on, tying run at the plate. Ducks trailing 4-2. Bill Hall, the pinch hitter, at the plate. Marabon comes set. The 1-1 on the way. It was a big high. 2 balls and a strike to Bill Hall, and Marabon right now playing with fire.
And Hall doing a good job taking pitches here, not flailing at away or off the plate. And a big pitch here for the right-hander at 2 balls and a strike.
Wide open stance from Hall. 2-1 the count. Miranda takes his lead. Pitch on the way, and it's in there for a strike. Boy, it looked like it could have been low. It was right at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bill Hall.
I think, again, Hall was thinking maybe the pitch was going to be off the plate outside or maybe a little low, and so he took it. And a good job of placing that pitch by the right-hander. And now with 2 strikes, Hall has to be ready to hack.
Yep, he's got to protect the plate now. Miranda not quite at the cutout, so he's got a short lead being held on by C.J. Ziegler. 2-2 pitch on the way to Bill Hall, and it's off the plate. It's either a fastball or a hard slider, but it missed, and it is full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Marbon's got to come in, or at least close, something to get Hall to bite. Bill Hall's got to protect the but Marbon in danger of walking the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the ninth. Coming set. Payoff pitch is on the way to Bill Hall, and he misses down low. Bill Hall is on 2 consecutive walks, and they set themselves up here with 2 on, nobody out, trailing by 2. Marbon has had trouble finding the plate. Got another meeting at the mound.
I was a little surprised to see Burkhardt go with Marbon in the 9th and Berg in the 8th, and instead he goes that way instead of how he had it last time when down, going with Marbon kind of in the late innings and then going with a guy like 8th. And that's why when I saw Berg in the 8th, thought he might go with him for a 6-out save, being that this game is so important. Perhaps. By the way, we are going to get a pinch runner here as there's a visit on the mound. Brendan Harris is going to go pinch run at first base for Bill Hall. Again, no way Hall would go out and play defensively over at short. So Harris, who can certainly play shortstop, will go out and run at first base. Gives him a little bit more speed. So Harris will take over as the pinch runner, and Burkhardt has the conversation on the mound, and now we'll head back to the third base dugout.
And by the way, that Bill Hall walk was another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So the Ducks have set themselves up this way. The beneficiaries of 2 consecutive walks to open up the bottom of the ninth. Sergio Miranda is in scoring position. The potential tying runners at first. And we go back to the with Phelan Lantini, who is the potential winning run, waddle-off style at the plate.
I think he will be laying down a bunt here to try and get the tying runs into scoring position.
You would think so. Not delivering, though, is Jorge Marbon, who wheels to fake a throw to second base, and it did not appear as if Lantini was getting into the bunting stance.
Kind of draw and see if Lantini, whether he was going to square.
Runners take their leads. Nobody out, 2-1, and now Lantini is looking to bunt. And I believe he was trying to draw the bat away, but it ticked his bat into the mid of catcher James Skelton, and it's 0-1. And Lantini, with a frustrated look, turning away from home plate, it did tick his bat.
Leads the Ducks with 10 sacrifice bunts this year, does Lantini.
Miranda off second base. Brendan Harris, the pinch runner, off first. 0-1 pitch from Marbon to Lantini. He's bunting again, but not biting as the pitch sails outside and low. 1-1 to Phelan Lantini, to be followed by Cody Puckett. And if we get as far as Lou Ford, he would be after that. So what a situation here for the Ducks. The wheel, they got themselves set up with 2 on and trailing by 2. Coming set, Jorge Marbon. And the pitch to Lantini. He does bunt. Third base line. It stays fair. They'll have to go the long route to first base, and a successful and beautiful sack. Angel Chavez had only one play to throw it to first baseman C.J. Ziegler. The Ducks have the tying run in scoring position at second base. Over at third is Miranda, and Cody Puckett coming up. He's 2 for 4.
That was a tough decision there for Chavez coming down from third. It was right along the line. You could have let it roll foul, but Chavez didn't want to take that risk and end up having the bases loaded, if not a run scoring, if it gets past him and goes down the third base line, since it was bunted fairly hard. We're out at first, 11th sack bunt for Lentini, and now a base hit here from Puckett, as long as it's not hard hit at one of the outfielders, could tie this game.
Puckett, as we said, 2 for 4, a couple of singles. He's lined down and popped down. Coming set is Marbon. Pitch to Cody. He wanted to pull the trigger, did not. It's low, 1-0 to Cody Puckett. Sergio Miranda, 93rd. And the pinch runner, Brendan, at second base. The potential tying run, and again, potential winning run at the plate. Coming set, Marbon, the 1-0 pitch on the way to Puckett, and just misses the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes, and you know that Marbon does not want to load the bases. All is an open base, but you don't want to put the winning run on, so Puckett should get something hittable here.
Again, Puckett is 2 for 4 on the night. 4-2's waiting on deck is 1 for 4, so we'll see how the rest of this at-bat goes.
Marbon is set. 2-0 pitch on the way to Cody inside. 3-0.
Marbon just having trouble throwing strikes here in this inning. The Ducks staying very patient at the plate, putting together some good at-bats against the right-hander. And I've seen him shrug his right shoulder a couple times, and again, it's a little bit tougher to get loose here and get hot when it's so much cooler out, so that could be something that's affecting Marbon here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
We'll see if Cody's taken all the way here. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Pitch on the way from Marbon is inside corner for a strike. Good fastball. 3-1, 1 out, 2 on, both in scoring. Miranda at third, Brendan Harris at second. So the top board, Cody Puckett at the plate, and a 3-1 count as Jorge Marbon comes set. And the pitch is on the way to Cody, and it's downstairs, ball 4, they're loaded up. We got the tying run at second, the winning run is at first base, just 1 out. And one of the best hitters in the league, if not the best, Lou Ford at the plate. What a scenario, and that will do it for Marbon.
Yeah, Lance Burkhardt has seen enough. He's going to go to his bullpen and call on another right-hander. Again, the 2 guys he has been using late in games to try and close things out. He has already used Berg in the 8th and now Marbon here in the 9th, but Marbon has walked 3 batters, has gotten just 1 out on a sac bunt. And so Lance Burkhardt is going to go to his bullpen. We are going to take a break. By the way, that was another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So the Blue Crabs ahead 4-2 over the Ducks, but Long Island has loaded up the bases with 1 out. And Lou Ford coming to the plate here on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, a great start. Bottom half of the 9th inning for the Ducks. As they trail by a count of 4-2, Long Island has loaded up the bases with 1 out in the inning. Lead-off walk. Bill Hall then pinch hit for Dan. Drew the free pass. Brendan Harris went to pinch run for him. A sacrifice bunt from Phelan Lentini moved the runners to second and third, and then Cody Puckett drew a walk to load up the bases. And the new pitcher now is the right-hander Sean Keeler, who has made 5 appearances so far. He's allowed just 1 run on 6 hits over 5 innings, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. But opponents are hitting .316 against him thus far. And the dangerous Lou Ford coming up to the plate. Again, the tying run at second, the winning run at first. And Ford enters with 15 home runs on the season. With 1 swing of the bat here, he can move into the Atlantic League lead for runs batted in.
He's got 93. Came into the game tonight at .344, second in terms of batting average. And in every other offensive category, either first or second or near the top. It's 4-2. Southern Maryland leading, bottom of the ninth. Ducks trailing by 2. But the beneficiary of 3 walks in this inning. There was a sacrifice in there as well. Bases are loaded up. Lou Ford is at the plate, 1 for 4 tonight. Infield single, struck out 2 fielders' choices. Coming set is the pitcher Keeler. And the pitch way outside and nearly a wild pitch. A great save by catcher James Skelton. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
You took the words right out of my mouth, David. I was about to say, what a save by Skelton. That gets past him. Scores. The tying run now moves to third, and the winning run moves to second, in which case then a fly out would tie the game and a for the Ducks, but a big save there by James Skelton.
Coming set, Keeler. Pitch forward right down the pike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And with all the wildness shown by Jorge Marbon, Lou is going to take one to see what kind of control Sean Keeler has. But now it's 1-1, and Lou will be looking to swing here. Pitch on the way, and that is blocked by Skelton. It was low. Got away from him about 10 or 15 feet away to the left, but not far enough away for Sergio Miranda to think about scooting home. So it's 2 balls and a strike to Lou Ford. Again, the base is loaded, 1 out. Keeler does not want to walk in a run here, of course. So Lou is going to get something juicy to hit because Keeler does not want to go 3-1. What a situation for the Ducks. Looking to waddle off in the opener of this finale of a series against Southern Maryland for the 2014 campaign. 2-1 the count. Pitch to Lou Ford. Outside, it's 3-1.
After Marbon walk 3, nowhere to put Lou Ford here. A walk again would bring the Ducks to within a run, and it would put the tying run at second for Adam Bailey, who has 2 hits and 4 at-bats tonight. So this is a big pitch here. Keeler needs to throw a strike, and Ford's got to be ready to swing if he gets one.
Righty-righty matchup. Coming set, Keeler. The 3-1 pitch on the way to Lou, and it's a strike. Outside corner, Lou thought it might have been a little low, maybe a little outside. He had taken a step or 2 toward first base, but home plate umpire Derek Mochia calling it a strike, and the count is now full.
Now Keeler put it right where he needed to get a strike and not have Ford swing at it. It was borderline, right at the knees, right on the outside corner, and on that borderline pitch, Keeler gets the call.
5 pitches thus far. Lou has not taken a swing at any of them. Looking in for the sign. Sean Keeler, he's got it. With the bases loaded. 1 out. Pitch to Lou Ford. Gets away from the catcher, James Skelton, but it doesn't matter. It's outside. It's a walk. And it's a run for the Ducks. They have narrowed it to 4-3. The bases are still loaded. RBI number 94 on the season for Lou Ford with a bases loaded walk. Adam Bailey at the plate with a chance to tie it or win it.
Dugout comes Lance Burkhart. He has seen enough after 1 pitch. Again, for Southern Maryland at this point, it is all hands on deck. If they lose, they're eliminated. They have no chance at winning the division or making the playoffs if they lose it. In the biggest bottom half of the 9th inning at this point of their season, they have walked 4 Ducks batters. Keeler is out of the game, and with Adam Bailey coming to the plate, a left-hander is going to come out of the bullpen, likely either Corpy or Manning, to try and save the Blue Crab season. 4-3 game, tying run at third, winning run at second for the Ducks. And we'll be right back on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, in the biggest game of the year right now for the Southern Maryland, clinging to their playoff hopes as they need a win to stay alive. And they took a 4-2 lead entering this bottom half of the ninth inning after a C.J. Ziegler home run. But they have, at this point, walked 4 of the 5 batters to hit in the ninth inning. And a bases-loaded walk to Lou Ford has brought in a run. The tying run for the Ducks is now at third in the form of Brendan Harris. The winning run at second in the form of Cody Puckett. And Lance Burkhardt has made his second pitching change of the inning, and he's called on the left-hander Wade Corpy to face the lefty Adam Bailey with the bags full and only 1 away.
So Lou Ford at first base. Cody Puckett is at second. And it's Brendan Harris, the tying run at third. Adam Bailey at the plate. Bailey is 2 for 4. The pitch to Adam in this lefty-lefty matchup is wide. 1 ball and no strikes. By the way, Lou Ford, another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. We've 4 times in this inning. Quackerjack Foundation doing quite well. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs here in the bottom of the ninth. 1-0 the count. Pitch to Adam Bailey. Wanted to swing, held up, but it nips the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. There's 1 down, 1 run in. Bases loaded. Ducks trailing by 1, bottom of the ninth.
Puckett with great speed at second base, so a base hit very well could win the game for the Ducks.
Coming set, Corpy. 1-1 pitch to Adam Bailey. Way outside. It's 2-1. C.J. Rutherford waiting on deck. He's had a couple of hits tonight, including a long solo homer to left way back in the second inning. Adam Bailey. 89 RBIs on the season. Looking to add to that total right here. 2-1 the count. Pitch from Corpy to Bailey. Swung on. Ground ball. Snared by the pitch. Over to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. And the game's over. Adam Bailey with a smash to second. Jake Opitz snaring it at second. Over to Bobby Stevens at short, who came over to the second base bag for 1 and on to C.J. Ziegler. What a way to end it! The Ducks had the bases loaded, and Adam Bailey could not have hit that ball harder. Ducks lose, but what a way to lose! 4-3 in the final. Crabs win. Yikes!
Well, this is just kind of a summary of how this Ducks season has gone, David. They've come so close in so many games. They've battled, they've had chances, and then they get to a big point, and you hit the ball hard, but the break just does not go your way. And Southern Maryland clings once again to life. They keep their season alive despite walking 4 batters in the ninth inning. They find 4-3 to at least stay alive for the moment. Again, if Lancaster and Sugar Land wins, I believe Southern Maryland is done at that point. But right now, Lancaster's winning. The last I saw, Sugar Land was tied. But the Ducks with a chance for their 5th waddle-off win of the year, and the guy that has had at the plate, and he hits it on a hard line drive towards second, and Opitz makes a big play, and they convert the double play.
3 pitchers and 4 walks. Southern Maryland did everything but gift wrap this one for the Long Island Ducks, and the Ducks did everything they could. Adam Bailey, as we said, with a smash. If it was hit anywhere else, the Ducks win the game. Thinking about tying it, they would have won it on a single, 2 RBIs instead. It goes down as a double play, and the game, as quickly as that, is suddenly over, and the Ducks drop it 4-3. We'll wrap this up in a moment here from Bethpage Ballpark. It was a fascinating game and a dramatic one, but it goes down as an L. We'll be back in a moment on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio. Bye-bye.
Well, here at Bethpage Ballpark, Long Island Ducks come oh so close to coming back from a 4-2 deficit in the bottom of the ninth. They loaded up the bases. They drew a bases-loaded walk to pull within one. And then Hart makes a move that saves the Blue Crab season. He calls on Wade Corpy, the lefty, to face the left-hander Adam Bailey, who hits a bullet towards second, and it goes down as a 4-6-3 double play after a nice fielding play and the turn at second by Stevens. The Ducks fall 4-3. We recap this game first here on the pregame show, and the big inning at first for Southern Maryland was that time against Bob Zimmerman, who made the start for Long Island tonight, taking Doug Arguello's spot in the rotation. Bobby Stevens drew a leadoff walk at second base. Jermaine Mitchell flied out to left field, and then Kyle Hankard singled to right to put runners at first and third with one out. That set the stage for Jake Opitz into the game with a 3-run home run to right on a good pitch over the middle of the plate from Bob Zimmerman. Opitz's 16th home run of the season. And that put the Blue Crabs ahead by a count of 3-0. The Ducks would not be from that point on. They made it close, though, in the second inning. Leadoff solo home run from C.J. Rutherford to left center field, his second home run as a Duck. And then fast forward to the sixth inning, the Ducks added another run when Adam Bailey singled to right, C.J. Rutherford singled to short. And then after a fly out to center from Brandon Bance, a great running catch by Jermaine Mitchell that saved potentially 2 runs. Bailey moved to third, and that set the stage for Brodeen, who lifted a sac fly to center and scored a run. And so that made it a 3-2 game. After the first inning, Bob Zimmerman was brilliant. He settled down to fire 6 scoreless innings from that point on. He allowed just 5 hits over those 6 innings. And in the game, 7 innings of 7-hit, 3-run, 2 did not strike out a batter, but ultimately left the game trailing by 1 in the 8th. A scoreless inning from Tommy Organ. In the bottom of the 8th, the Ducks had a big threat. They had first and second with nobody out, with 1 out, but Joe Ash Brodeen lined into an inning-ending 4-3 double play to end that threat and send it to the 9th. Well, in the 9th, Brett Lauren came in, and the big insurance run scored when C.J. Ziegler launched a solo home run over the left field wall. 15th of the year, and that put the Blue Crabs ahead 4-2, and that would loom very large because in the bottom of the 9th inning, Jorge Marbon was called on by Lance Burkhart to pitch. He walked Sergio Miranda, walked pinch hitter Bill Hall to put runners at first and second, nobody out. Brendan Harris went to pinch run at first base, and then Phelan Lentini would lay down a sacrifice bunt up the third base line. So that put runners at second and third, the tying run at second with 1 out. Cody Puckett was the next hitter. He too would draw a walk that would load the bases, so the tying run was at second, the winning run at first, still only 1 out. And Lance Burkhart then went to his bullpen. He called on the righty Sean Keeler to face Lou Ford, and Keeler would walk 4 to force in a run. So that made it a 4-3 game. And then with the lefty Adam Bailey scheduled to bat, Burkhart went back to the mound, brought in the lefty Wade Corpy to set up the lefty-lefty matchup. Bailey got a good pitch to hit, and he hit it hard. But the second baseman, Jake Opitz, made the play, turned it into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play, which also ended the game. In the 9th innings, the Ducks end their rallies with double plays to end their rallies. And again, Southern Maryland hangs on for the win 4-3. So the final total is 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Southern Maryland. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Ducks. Blue Crabs left 5, the Ducks left 10 on base. Darrell Thompson gets the win. He improves to 7-6 on the year. The loser, Bob Zimmerman, drops to 3-3, and Wade, final 2 outs, picks up his second save of the season. The game took 2 hours and 52 minutes in front of a crowd of 4,665 here at Bethpage Ballpark. Micah Pollock alongside David Weiss, who I bring back here into the broadcast booth. And David, it's been kind of a microcosm of the season for the Ducks. Lots of opportunities, lots of chances to find ways to win a game, but they come up just short.
You want the positives. Bob Zimmerman, just what an effort here tonight after the 3-run homer to Jake Opitz in inning number 1. Pitched really well after that. I mean, 6 innings, just gave up a handful of signals, no extra base hits, and a quality start. Tommy Organ looked relief. Brett Lauren had some problems, as was already noted. Defensively, you had one great play after another. Dan Lyons, always superb at a couple of great plays by Joe Ash Brodeen at first base as well. So altogether, it added up to a loss, but there were many individual highlights for the Long Island Ducks. Nonetheless, when you look at Southern Maryland to pick a Nicolak player of the game, he had the biggest blow of the game, and he had the star defensive play of the game that saved the victory.
To me, it would have to be Co-Nicolak players of the game, because you have to look at Ziegler as well. He finished with 3 hits, and his home run ultimately proved to be the difference in the game. So if you ask me, I would go with Co-Nicolak players of the game between Jake Opitz and C.J. Ziegler. They had the clutch hits, and Opitz, as you mentioned, had the clutch defensive play to keep Southern Maryland's season alive, at least temporarily.
There you go.
So in my mind, they are the Co-Nicolak players of the game.
Agreed. Nicolak Player of the Game honors Nicolak Retaining Walls and Paving Stones, a company synonymous with quality and service in the manufactured concrete industry for almost 50 years. Boy, this was some game here tonight. It went just a little less than 3 hours, but it felt as if it could have been a mini-series. Things that happened here tonight.
Very true. Well, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard, get you caught up on the playoff race in the second half division, and get you caught up what's doing there and in the Major League scoreboard. Then we'll set you up for the middle game of this series tomorrow. We'll be right back on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, back here at Bethpage Ballpark, they have the Donaldson squeeze play going on right now, where a group is trying to fit as many people into a Volkswagen Beetle as possible to try and win a prize.
That's one way to get to know somebody really well in a hurry.
And they've got about 16 or 17 people at least in there right now, so pretty impressive for that group on the field. Before we head out the door, we're going to give you an update on the out-of-town scoreboard, get you caught up around the Atlantic League. One game is final. That game did not have any postseason implications as the Bluefish shut out the Patriots 2-0 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Tomooka the win, a complete game shutout for the right-hander from Japan. He improves to 7-12. The loser, Roy Merritt, fell to 1-1. There was no save. Joe Mather, the only home run of the game, his second of the year for the Bluefish in the shutout win. Now for the two important games. And again, Southern Maryland probably back in their clubhouse on the third base side. Scoreboard watching right now to see if they will still stay alive. Right now, Barnstormers lead at 8-4 over the River Sharks. Top of the 8th inning in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Top half of the 8th again. Ian Kadish is now pitching for Lancaster. Camden has actually now made it 8-5. They have the bases loaded with 2 out in the inning. Nick DeBar started. Michael Click is now in the game. For Lancaster, 2 RBI to 4 from Brett Carroll on a grand slam are leading the way. For Camden, 2 RBIs and 2 runs from Brian Pound is leading the way. And again, Lancaster tonight's action, a game behind the Skeeters for first place in the second half Freedom Division title race. Blue Crabs entered 3 games back. As for the Skeeters, they have a 1-0 lead top of the 6th inning at home against the York Revolution. Good pitching matchup. Steve Hammond for Sugarland. For the Revolutions, Travis Scott has driven in the only run of the game. And again, Sugarland enters with a 1-game lead over the Barnstormers. If Sugarland wins and if Lancaster wins, there is no chance for the Blue Crabs to catch. Actually, really, just if Sugarland wins, there is no chance for the Blue Crabs to catch the Skeeters in the second half Freedom Division race. If the Skeeters lose and with the Blue Crabs win, then Southern Maryland would still stay up because they would then be only 2 games in back of both of those teams with their win tonight and 2 games to go. So if the Blue Crabs with their win tonight, if the Skeeters and the Barnstormers win, Southern Maryland is eliminated. If one of those two wins, and that one team is Lancaster and not Sugar Land, then Southern Maryland is still alive.
Thanks to that in-depth explanation, I am now seeing what I call the visual aura, and a migraine will be forthcoming.
It is not easy, but that is how it looks right now. As for the Major League scoreboard, Yankees 5-3 winners at Yankee Stadium over the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. The winner was Hiroki Kuroda, who improved to 11-9. Mark Burley, the loss, fell to 12-10, and Adam Warren picked up his third save of the year. Jacoby Ellsbury with home run number 16 on the season for the New York Yankees. And as for the Jays, it was Edwin Encarnacion hitting his 33rd long ball. Mets lead it 2-0 over the Braves down in Atlanta right now through 8 innings of play. Zach Wheeler started for the Mets, and Julio Teheran started for the Braves. Wheeler would be in line for the win. Teheran would be in line for the loss. And 2 runs for the Mets coming off the bat of Lucas, one home run, his 28th of the season. So that does it for the out-of-town scoreboard. As for this series, it will continue tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. The final pyrotechnical fireworks extravaganza of the season will follow the game. It'll be presented by Flushing Bank. Good pitching matchup for the Ducks. It'll be right-hander Bobby Blevins making his final start of the year, going for that 10th win. He is 9-5 with a 3.02 ERA. He has lost his last 2 starts, so we'll try and rebound tomorrow night against Southern Maryland. And as for the Blue Crabs, they will go with right-hander Gabby Hernandez, who pitched well against the Ducks here last time out. He's 8-9 on the year with a 4.79 ERA. So a good pair of right-handers taking tonight. Again, the game will begin at 7 Page Ballpark gates, opening at 6:05. David, that is going to do it for you, I believe, in the broadcast booth here in 2014. It has always been a pleasure having you here. Between the home run calls, between your enthusiasm, between getting to relive last year's championship victory on opening night, it has always been a pleasure.
I can't thank you enough, along with Chris King and Mr. Schwartz, and of course from the top down, from Frank Bolton to Mike Pfaff and everyone who has continually allowed me to stay a part of this longest running off-Broadway show hit in the history of Long Island. It has been the most enjoyable professional experience of my life, and I can't wait for next season to begin. It isn't even over yet, but it was very, very enjoyable, and I look forward to seeing you during the and, of course, right back here for the home opener next year.
And although your last game here this season ended on a loss, at least you were able to get that home run call on National Talk Like a Pirate Day. Could be worse than that.
No, not at all. I just love the home run calls. I love watching the Ducks. And again, going back to April 28th, the year 2000, it has been just a wonderful experience. And again, 2 more great games to go. If you have a chance to come to the ballpark, the weather's going to be terrific tomorrow, and especially on Sunday. We're going to be well into the 70s, maybe around 80 degrees on the last full day of summer. What better way to officially close out the summer season than with the Long Island Ducks home finale on Fan Appreciation Day? And no one appreciates the Ducks more than I do. Thank you so much, Michael, for everything.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Bethpage Ballpark on this Friday night. Big thank you goes out to Dave Maritello, our engineer back in our Ronkonkoma studios, pushing all the buttons, doing a great job as always. Again, the final score, it was the Blue Crabs 4 and the Long Island Ducks 3. We invite you to join us for our next Ducks broadcast, which will be tomorrow night when these 2 teams play the middle game of the 3-game set. Pre-game show begins at 6:50. First pitch, 7:05. You can follow all the action on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 FM, LI News Radio, and online at linewsradio.com and liducks.com with live streaming video and audio. My name is Michael Pollock alongside David Weiss. Thanks so much for spending your Friday evening with us. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Have a great rest of your Friday night. We'll do it all over again on Saturday night here at the Duck Pond. So, good night and so long from Central Islip, New York. All right, thank you, Dave. Appreciate all your help. Have a good rest of your night. Are you doing any of the other games, or are you done for the year? All right, man. Thanks for all your job.